ante el Rayo Vallecano con vida para posiblemente ese sueño que es Europa, porque ahora mismo está todo muy apretado. El séptimo, que es el Celta, con 52 puntos, el Rayo, que es el octavo, con 48 puntos, Osasuna noveno con 48 puntos también, el Mallorca décimo con 47 puntos, y esta parte de arriba diríamos que es la que está más comprimida a la hora de hablar de Europa. Y hoy el Mallorca juega ante el Getafe, un equipo que no llega con buena sintonía, un equipo que de los últimos 5 partidos lleva 5 derrotas, un equipo que está en la posición 15 de la Liga con 39 puntos. Es la situación del Getafe de José Bordalás, que no hace muchas jornadas. Si vamos un poco atrás, si rebominamos en la Liga, el Getafe también estaba en esa lucha por Europa. Pero ¿qué pasa? Que la Liga está tan igualada, ha sido una Liga tan igualada, sigue estando tan igualada, que si cualquier pequeño error hace que te descuelgues. Por eso el Mallorca sigue a falta de 2 jornadas de Liga con la mecha prendida para poder entrar en Europa. Queda mucha previa que hablar, vamos a hablarlo ahora en un rato, pero aquí a mi izquierda mi compañero inseparable, Jovan, bienvenido. ¿Cómo estás, compañero?
Contento como siempre estar aquí contigo, la verdad que vamos a disfrutar. Espero que disfrutemos hoy del partido, porque es un partido importante, último partido de la Liga, y espero que nos hagan disfrutar y también que nos blindemos con una victoria, porque yo creo que si ganamos hoy, yo creo que la semana que viene nos jugamos contra el Rayo Vallecano a la final.
Bueno, 25 grados, está haciendo un tiempo espectacular, una tarde increíble para que la HT arranque jornada unificada, una jornada donde todos los equipos jugarán a las 7 de la tarde, por lo tanto vamos a tener ese carrusel, ¿no? Que el año pasado también tuvimos, pero con el agua un poco en el cuello, asustados porque estábamos pendientes de la permanencia, de lo que hacían los de abajo. Este año pues es un carrusel más tranquilo. Un hombre que está abajo en el terreno de juego, que lo tiene todo programado, todo listo en esa libreta, lo tiene todo controlado, es nuestro hombre clave, que está ahí cerquita de los protagonistas, que ahora mismo en el terreno de juego pues acaban de encender los aspersores, espera que se riegue y esté todo perfecto. Él nos lo va a comentar mejor. Damián, muy buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás, compañero?
¿Qué tal? Muy buenas, Llorens, muy buenas, Jovan, y muy buenas a todos los mallorquinistas. Sí, estamos aquí a pie de campo, como es habitual, del Estadio Mallorca Somos. Ya han salido a calentar los guardametas del Real Club Deportivo Mallorca, y como decimos, estamos aquí en un feudo donde esperemos que hoy sea un auténtico hervidero, ya que es, como decía, es nuestro último partido en casa de la temporada, en esta penúltima jornada, con nada más y nada menos que Europa en juego. Es por eso por lo que el club decidió impulsar una campaña de claro que quiero clasificarme a Europa. Puso esa promoción de 2 entradas a precio de 1 para todos los abonados, con el objetivo de, vuelvo a repetir, hoy el Estadio Mallorca Somos sea una auténtica caldera a presión para que los 3 puntos se queden aquí y podamos viajar a la última jornada a Vallecas con las opciones intactas de volver a Europa más de 20 años más tarde. Aquí en nuestro estadio el Mallorca suma 7 victorias, 6 empates y 5 derrotas. Es el 11º mejor local de lo que llevamos de temporada, y esperemos pues aumentar esa racha positiva de resultados frente al Getafe y, como decimos, viajar con las opciones intactas a Madrid la próxima semana. Una jornada, como dices, unificada, donde además de estar pendientes de todo lo que suceda aquí a mi espalda, también estaremos pendientes sobre todo de 2 partidos, del Celta Rayo Vallecano y de los Osasuna Español, porque dependiendo de los resultados que se den en esos partidos, y también lógicamente del que se dé aquí frente al Getafe, el Mallorca podría dormir en posiciones europeas y consecuentemente depender de sí mismo en ese último encuentro frente al Rayo Vallecano. Pero primero vamos a intentar ganar nosotros, y para hacerlo Yago Arrasate, que apuesta por un 11 realmente bastante poco innovador, con piezas comunes, pero sí con un cambio que seguramente llama la atención. Vamos a repasarlo. Grave estará en portería, vuelve el eslovaco tras el muy buen partido de Le Román, pero Yago Arrasate ya afirmó en la sala de prensa previa que Grave iba a volver a la titularidad. Línea de 4 atrás para Rayo, Martín Mayen, Johan Mojica y, ojo, atención, Mateu Llamo, que repite también respecto a su gran papel y partido que cuajó en el Santiago Bernabéu. Línea de 3 En el medio campo para Samu Costa, Omar Mascarell y Sergi Darder. Arriba, Dani Rodríguez, Vedat Murici y atención, extremo hoy, Pablo Maffeo, el lateral catalán que hoy pues acompañará a Mateu Jaume en esa banda derecha. Veremos quién es de los dos es extremo. Intuimos que es Pablo Maffeo. Después, posteriormente, se lo preguntaremos a Yago Barrasate, que recupera para este partido a Manu Morlanes y a Robert Navarro, y que tiene 3 ausencias: la de Antón Prats, la de Takuma Sano y la de Chiquiño. En total, 23 convocados para este partido, en el que Mallorca buscará ganar, buscará, ¿por qué no?, dormir en posiciones europeas e ir con la mejor de las posiciones la última jornada de Vallecas.
Muchísimas gracias, Damián. Pues, Jovan, 11 del Mallorca desmenuzado ya sobre la mesa, con esa gran novedad que está en el lateral derecho Mateu Jaume, y ahí también está Pablo Maffeo.
Sí.
No sé si... ¿Qué crees que puede tener con esta idea para enfrentarse al Getafe de José Bordalás?
No, muy sencillo. La verdad que en el último partido hemos jugado con 3 centrales por falta de extremos, porque y Navarro y Asano son, digamos, los únicos extremos. Como están lesionados, pues yo creo que Mister por esto ha decidido en últimos partidos pues jugar con 3 centrales y 2 carriles. Y hoy pues decidió cambiar el sistema con 4 atrás, y como no tenemos un extremo, pues ha puesto, no sé si será Maffeo de lateral derecho y Mateu más en ataque, o al revés. Pero yo creo que los dos jugadores tienen calidades, digamos, como atacantes, y yo creo que vamos a ver, la verdad. Y si vemos o Mateo o Maffeo, yo creo que en ataque nos puede dar mucho.
Un 11 titular que ya hemos visto, ya hemos descifrado con Damián, pero que yo creo que están los grandes artilleros, como es Vedat Murici, Dani Rodríguez, en el centro del campo Sergi Darder, que está en un nivel de forma espectacular, Samu Costa, Omar Mascarell, y la defensa increíble, ¿no? Tenemos a Raillo, Martín Valls, yo creo que es el mejor 11 titular que podemos sacar, y sin despreciar también a los hombres que tenemos en el banquillo, que como que ya sabemos que un partido dura 90 minutos, y también los hombres del banquillo son importantísimos para revolucionar el momento, el partido en cualquier momento.
Sí, siempre hablábamos que tenemos una buena plantilla, y hoy pues si no sale bien la cosa es a Dani y a Murici, pues tienes a Larín, y la verdad que tenemos un buen banquillo. Hoy yo creo que la clave, yo siempre los jugadores de Bordal son, la verdad, los equipos de
José Bordalás.
Son equipos defensivamente muy ordenados, muy fuertes, y hoy si me preguntan a mí, yo atacaría más por la banda, porque en medio campo pasar por medio campo va a ser muy difícil. Entonces allí tenemos a Mojica. No sé si Dani jugará de
extremo izquierdo, ¿no? En el centro del campo, ¿crees?
Sí. O como, ¿quién era?
Está Sergi Darder.
O Darder, pero hoy sí que necesitamos centros por las bandas.
Bueno, pues un hombre que yo creo que sabe más que todos nosotros, sobre todo porque sabe la idea que tiene en su cabeza, es Yago Barrasate, que lo tenemos con Damián. Vamos a escuchar lo que ha dicho Yago Barrasate hace un rato, que ha estado con nuestro compañero Damián.
Con Yago Barrasate. ¿Qué tal, Yago? Buenas tardes. Última jornada con Europa todavía en juego, último encuentro ante nuestra afición, en Getafe, que se juega la permanencia, un partido con muchos alicientes.
Sí, como bien dices, un partido muy importante, clave, el último en casa, y bueno, las opciones pasan por ganar, entonces tiene que ser hoy, porque si no es hoy no hay más, y como queremos que haya más, pues tiene que ser hoy. Entonces, bueno, sabemos el rival que tenemos enfrente, un rival complicado, que fuera de casa está haciendo las cosas muy bien esta segunda vuelta, y que está jugando mucho, pero bueno, nosotros a focalizar en lo nuestro, a hacer un buen partido, a ver si terminamos de la mejor manera esta andadura en casa.
Precisamente, teniendo en cuenta lo que está en juego, también las características del rival, ¿por dónde pasan las claves del partido?
Bueno, seguramente sea un partido cerrado, nos va a costar imponernos a los dos equipos, va a ser importante el acierto seguramente, pero bueno, más allá de eso tenemos que tener una idea, y nuestra idea es un poco jugar en campo rival para que pasen cosas, y a partir de ahí generar situaciones de centro, de remate, de estrategia, y bueno, eso es lo que vamos a intentar.
¿Querrás ir sabiendo lo que sucede en otros campos, o a lo mejor en estos casos de centrarse en uno mismo?
No, al final siempre te llega, pero bueno, de nada nos sirve si nosotros no hacemos nuestro trabajo. Nosotros tenemos que ganar, y a partir de ahí, si se dan los resultados, mejor, pero vamos a centrarnos en lo nuestro.
Y a la última, en cuanto al 11, seguramente llama la atención ese lateral, doble lateral, Mateu Mafeo. Lo hemos visto a lo largo de la temporada, algunos minutos, la primera titularidad de ellos. ¿Por qué apuestas?
Bueno, sobre todo con la baja de Asano nos falta algo de profundidad en banda derecha. Entendemos que Pablo nos puede dar, ¿no? Ya jugando de lateral nos da, pero jugando de extremo lo podemos liberar de otras facetas, digamos, y ser más vertical, más profundo, más punzante. Bueno, esa es un poco la idea con Mateo por detrás y Pablo por delante.
Ya va, gracias y suerte.
Vale, hasta luego.
Ahí están las palabras del profesor, que ya nos ha descifrado un poco la idea que tiene con la de Mateu Jaume y Pablo Mafeo ahí en la misma zona. Y no vamos a hacer esperar más, porque para poder saber qué 11 sacará José Bordalás, Damián nos lo va a descifrar. Damián, un Getafe que lleva 5 derrotas consecutivas, que hace no mucho estaba también en la pelea por esa lucha europea, pero que se descolgó en las últimas jornadas. ¿Con qué 11 sale hoy Bordalás?
Así es, Llorens, tal cual. Un Getafe necesitado, pero que sabe que si gana o si no lo hace el Leganés, que es el equipo que ahora mismo marca esa zona roja, sabe que se salvará, sabe que se mantendrá una temporada más en primera división. Es verdad que, como dices, hace cosa de un mes, mes y medio, podría ser un candidato a plazas europeas, pero tras esta mala racha de los últimos partidos se ha vuelto a meter o a notar ese agua subiéndole por el cuello. Pero es el Getafe, ojo, atención, el octavo mejor visitante, ha sumado más del 50% de sus puntos lejos del Coliseum, lejos de Madrid. Todas sus victorias, de hecho, fuera de campo han llegado en esta segunda vuelta, aunque es cierto que las últimas 3 salidas se han saldado con 3 derrotas en esa, como decimos, mala dinámica con la que llega hoy el Getafe, y que buscará romper José Bordalás con el siguiente 11. David Soria estará en portería, línea de 4 atrás con Alderete y Duarte como centrales, Iglesias y Rico en los costados, doble pivote para Milla y Arambarri, el máximo goleador de este Getafe, bandas para Terrach y Niom, arriba Uche y Borja Mayoral. Un José Bordalás que no ha podido contar hoy con Niom por sanción y Alex Sola por lesión, y que hablaba así, de esta manera, en la rueda de prensa previa a este partido, hablando sobre la confianza que tiene su equipo para revertir la situación y para, ojalá para ellos, ojalá no para nosotros, lograr la permanencia. Vamos a escuchar las palabras de José Bordalás en la previa de este partido.
Es la realidad que tenemos que asumir todos. Yo lo vengo diciendo desde el comienzo del campeonato. La realidad es esta y la tenemos que asumir, y no pasa absolutamente nada. Los jugadores, mi labor como técnico es intentar transmitirle la confianza, la tranquilidad. Ellos son conscientes de la situación, como lo somos todos, como son los aficionados, que sabemos que tienen una percepción no diferente, pero bueno, de cierta preocupación, pero el equipo está responsabilizado. El equipo somos los primeros que quieren hacer las cosas bien, que quieren sacar cuanto antes esto, y bueno, ahora es momento de estar todos unidos y de conseguir el objetivo, que estoy convencido que lo vamos a conseguir.
Ahí está, un José Bordalás que está convencido de que lo van a conseguir, que van a conseguir esa permanencia y sobre todo revertir un poco esa mala situación ahora mismo del club, de su equipo. Pero hay que comentar lo que son los datos, porque vamos primero con un dato que, lo que hemos dicho, en la jornada 32, estamos en la jornada 37, no hace mucho, en la jornada 32 el Getafe estaba en la posición 12 y estaba a 4 puntos del octavo, que eran zonas europeas. Aparte de esto, que es verdad que la mala racha es clara, pero de los 5 partidos, como hemos dicho, los ha perdido los 5, pero atención, porque 3 de los 5 partidos que ha perdido solamente los ha perdido por un gol de diferencia. O sea, ante el Español perdió por 1-0, ante el Real Madrid por 0-1, ante el Rayo Vallecano por 1-0. Es verdad que luego ante el Valencia pierde 3-0 y ante el Athletic Club pierde 0-2. Pero un equipo que es complicado, es rocoso y sobre todo un equipo muy difícil de hacerles goles. Jovan, 11 titular ya, los dos, tanto del Mallorca, ahora hemos visto el del Getafe ya sobre la mesa. ¿Qué te parece este equipo de José Bordalás?
Pero mira, solamente viendo que sale con 2 delanteros, esto significa que va a ir por partido. Si hubiera querido defender el resultado e intentar hacer daño al Mallorca en contraataque, no sacaría el equipo y no sacaría dos delanteros. Entonces sale con un sistema de 4-4-2 con Uche, y que es sobre todo este año ha hecho un gran año, y por otro lado Mayoral, que sabemos que es un goleador nato. Bueno, 5 partidos perdidos, sí, esto significa que estamos en una liga muy complicada, muy difícil, y todo lo que ha hecho Mallorca es mérito propio de Mallorca. Quiero decir que esta liga es muy difícil, y a veces veo que hay gente que critique por qué no hemos ganado allí, porque si hubiéramos ganado, no sé, en Girona, no metemos esto. Pero mira, el Getafe también tiene un buen equipo, también tiene un gran entrenador, y mira dónde está. Ha perdido 5 partidos. Si hubiera ganado solo uno, hoy vendría, digamos, más tranquilo. Entonces, nosotros no nos tiene que interesar el equipo de Getafe, nosotros a lo nuestro, hacer un buen partido, desde el inicio empezar a meter balones en área, buscar a Muriqui, buscar las bandas, y lo que te he dicho al principio del programa, pues ojalá hoy hacemos un buen partido, ganamos, y la próxima jugamos la final contra Rayo.
Eso es, hay que estar pendientes también, como habéis dicho, cuando hablamos del carrusel, vamos a estar pendientes de ese Celta, Rayo Vallecano y también Osasuna, que juega ante el Español. Damián, te pregunto a ti, ahora, antes de ir a ver el último partido, porque hablábamos de que es una liga complicada y difícil, y el último partido del Mallorca ante el Real Madrid lo fue. Ahora lo vamos a repasar, pero antes, Damián, te lanzo esta pregunta. ¿Por dónde crees que le puede hacer daño hoy el Mallorca de Yago Barrasate al Getafe de José Bordalás? ¿Por cuáles crees que pueden ser las claves de este partido?
Pues yo creo, y también lo comentó Yago Barrasate en la previa, en la rueda de prensa, que cuanto más el Mallorca viva en campo rival y menos permita que el Getafe se sitúe en nuestro campo, con ese juego directo, con esas doble jugadas, con esos muchos balones que silba al área, por ahí tendrían que ir los tiros para que el Mallorca saque un buen resultado. Sobre todo también no encajar, porque es verdad que si encajas, si empiezas perdiendo ante este Getafe, que siempre los equipos de Bordalás son equipos muy aguerridos y a los que le cuesta meterle mano y cuesta pues que remontarle y darle la vuelta a los partidos. Por tanto, yo creo que una de las claves será hacerse muy fuerte en defensa, dejar la portería a cero, y a partir de ahí arriba pues generar, ser eficaces, que se dice fácil y es lógicamente complicado, pero sobre todo eso, no encajar, porque seguramente en nuestro estadio, con nuestra gente, alguna vamos a tener y alguna entrará, así que sobre todo solidez defensiva e intentar jugar la mayor parte del tiempo en campo contrario.
Me quedo con la clave, que es dejar la portería a cero, porque será una de las maneras para asegurarnos ya la victoria. Hace 4 jornadas que el Mallorca no deja la portería a cero. La última fue el empate ante el Leganés 0-0 aquí en Son Moix, y la última vez que dejó la portería a cero y sumó 3 puntos fue pues una jornada anterior, la jornada 31 ante el Real Sociedad, en un estadio complicadísimo como es Anoeta. Dicho todo esto, vámonos a no hace mucho, vámonos al 14 de mayo, vámonos esta semana, que visitamos el Santiago Bernabéu, como podéis ver. Un partido complicado y difícil, donde el Real Madrid llegaba con muchísimas bajas, pero sabíamos que todo y llegar el Real Madrid con muchísimas bajas, presentó un 11 titular guerrillero, y arrancaban los 2 primeros minutos, Joan, con esa ocasión de Hendrik delante Leo Román, que yo me parece que es verdad que el partido que hizo el Mallorca fue espectacular, sobre todo este golazo, esa conexión entre Mateu Jaume y el pase filtrado, que de primeras para mí aquí me parecía fuera de juego, no fuera de juego no, pero veo que Martin Valle se queda como parado y prácticamente le mete un zapatazo al balón.
No sé cómo se encontró en área, porque era un contraataque, no sé cómo, y no sé cómo se encontró allí solo.
Ni él se lo creía, verdad,
creo. Claro. Que cuando metió gol, pues a lo mejor estaba 10 segundos pensando, a ver, ¿qué es esto? ¿Qué me pasó aquí?
Es que yo vi como que se paró, y yo creo que ni él se lo creía, que estuviera solo dentro del área, claro, aunque fue muy difícil el gol que marcó.
Yo creo que ni la defensa de Madrid no esperaba este disparo,
no.
Pero era un mal desguste. En defensa de Madrid, Mateo dio un buen pase se encontró en la situación esto, no se pensaba dos veces y chutó, pero chutó bastante bien, sobre todo. Normalmente cuando balones van en la portería, digamos en la parte pegada con la, digamos con el palo, como se allí difícil para un portero que puede parar y imagínate a un Courtois le metes un gol de esta manera.
Pues, mira, yo lo que tengo que decir es que el Mallorca marcó en el minuto 11
y enfadamos.
Y hasta el 68
enfadamos el Madrid, claro, y Madrid se vino con todo.
Hasta el minuto 68 no marcó Mbappé y justo en el momento que marca Mbappé, Mateu Jaume, lo habéis visto, tuvo esa ocasión clara que pues pudo hacer que el Mallorca se pusiera otra vez por delante. Desde ahí, pues es verdad que el Real Madrid fue el que más atacó y el que más insistió en la portería del Mallorca, ya que se jugaban en el título de Liga.
Juega en casa, ha salido con todos y van por partido. Tú sabes, Madrid, cuando le enfadas, el año pasado ganaron así la Liga de Campeones, perdían contra Paris Saint-Germain, remontaron el partido. Así que Bernabéu es un campo muy complicado. A veces puedes ganar y 2-0 y 3-0 te puede remontar.
Y el hombre del partido, que lo hemos comentado, Leo Román, que creo que hizo un partidazo increíble. Aquí tuvo otra más, Marc Domenech. Y ya la lástima es...
Hemos estado muy bien.
Sí, estuvimos muy bien.
Estuvimos bastante bien, pero claro, es que como te generan muchas ocasiones, pues te tiene que entrar una.
Y hasta el último...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's live stream. I am your host for tonight's evening. Today we have a very exciting matchup here at the Son Moix Stadium. We have Real Mallorca facing up against Getafe here, and a very important matchup, I'd say, for both sides. Of course, here tonight, both of these teams are going to be looking for the 3 points. And of course, it is the last game for Real Mallorca at the Son Moix Stadium, the last home game of the season and the second last match of the season, as next week out is going to be officially the last match of the season away from home up against Rayo Vallecano. But again, we have such an important matchup here today at the Son Moix Stadium, especially for this Real Mallorca side that is competing and fighting for European football. So it's going to be a really big one. You know, Real Mallorca really need these 3 points if they want to find a possible way in to European football, and of course it will depend on other results as well, which we will be keeping an eye on here live on this station, so make sure you stay tuned for that, as we've got a very exciting evening up ahead of us, a race for European football, and Real Mallorca are included in it, but again, they have to get the 3 points if they want to stay on it, and if not, it's not going to be looking good for them. Now we're going to talk about the last time out for Real Mallorca, and that was up against Real Madrid, where they did face them at the Bernabeu Stadium, and Real Mallorca, they did start off the match leading 1-0 going into that halftime, with Martin Valiant scoring a beautiful goal, the Slovakian centre-back for Real Mallorca. It's his third goal this season, actually. Impressive numbers for a centre-back. And again, that was his third goal for the season that he did score in the 11th minute. So Real Mallorca went into the halftime leading 1-0. But unfortunately, it was shortly after, in the 68th minute, where Kylian Mbappe scored the equalizer for Real Madrid. And then, in the last seconds of the match, Real Madrid did get the winners. Jacobo, the Real Madrid centre-back, who did get the winner. A very unfortunate result for Real Mallorca, but an amazing display from Real Mallorca last time out, up against a team like that at their own stadium. It's not something everyone can do. Now, if you do take a look at the screen here, you can also see the last time out for Getafe, where they did face Bilbao at the Coliseum Stadium, so at their own ground, where the visiting side did take home the 3 points, winning 0-2. Actually, Getafe did concede the 2 goals within the last 14 minutes of the match, so they were 0-0 up until then, so very unfortunate there for Getafe. And I would argue it was a very equal match. It was 34% possession for Getafe with 11 shots, but only managing to get 1 on target. For Bilbao, on the other hand, 66% possession with 9 shots and only 2 on target. So both teams maybe missing a bit more offensive side there in that matchup. But again, not a terrible result for Getafe up against decent Bilbao side. And again, only conceding the last 2 goals within the last 14 minutes. But Getafe, something they're missing is scoring goals. And that's something that Getafe have been struggling quite a lot with this season. They're really, really struggling to score goals. They've actually scored 0 goals in the last 5 matches. And their offense, it's something that, again, they just really seem to be struggling with at the minute. So it's something that Real Mallorca should try and make the most of out here today. Now, again, as I was just mentioning, it was a really good display from Real Mallorca last time out up against Real Madrid, and it was just so unlucky that they didn't at least get a point from that, as they were leading up until the 68th minute. And again, Real Mallorca, they thought they had it, but in literally the last 5 to 10 seconds, Real Madrid got that really, really unlucky late second winner, and Real Mallorca couldn't manage to take the points. Yeah, I would say it was a very impressive first half in that display from Real Mallorca, but going into the second half, they lost their heads a bit. They lost the possession of the ball, but in the first half, Real Mallorca, they were attacking and they had possession of the ball. They were actually competing with Real Madrid, but in the second half, they just completely lost it. And again, as you can see there, that was the end of that matchup for Getafe up against Bilbao at their own ground last week out, where they lost 0-2 up against that Bilbao side, who, as you can see, celebrating it heavily, as they do need the wins to get also into European football. And very disappointing for Getafe, as they did do a decent matchup against Bilbao, but again, they just couldn't manage to score the goals they needed, and they couldn't manage to hold on until the end. So, a shame for them. But now we're going to talk about recent form from both of these sides. Real Mallorca have won 1 match out of their last 5 matches in the LaLiga division, and Getafe haven't won a single one out of the last 5. Matter of fact, they haven't won a single one out of the last 6 matchups, actually. So Getafe definitely struggling to get wins recently. And out of those last 5 for Real Mallorca, one of them was a draw, one of them was a victory. So not terrible, but they do need to step it up a bit. And against that Real Madrid side, they really did step it up. And today, it's everything or nothing for Real Mallorca, as if they lose this, you could pretty much say that the European football is gone. So a win today, it's a must for Real Mallorca. And playing here, the last match of the season at home, up against with their people, fighting for European football, it's such a big game. Even though it doesn't look like it on paper, Mallorca up against Getafe, it might not look like it. But again, it's just, such a big game here at the San Mamés Stadium. So, we're going to talk about, what it would mean for Real Mallorca if they did get the win. Because they are currently sitting at 10th place at Real Mallorca with 47 points, meaning that a win today, again, as I said, it's a must for the possibility of European football. And of course, Rayo Vallecano, they're facing up against Celta Vigo today, and Rayo Vallecano just have 1 more point than Real Mallorca. They're sitting on that Conference League spot where Real Mallorca need to be. So if they lose, that would be massive for Real Mallorca. And Osasuna, also in the way there, are facing up against Espanyol, all at the same time, all at 7 CET kickoff time. So we will be keeping an eye on that, as well as those results are also very important for this matchup. Now, what would it mean for Getafe? That is also a question, because it's also an important game for them. They're currently sitting at 16th place with 39 points on the table, most likely saved from relegation, but not 100% saved. Not saved mathematically. They could still go down, but they'd have to lose the next 2 games, and all the people below them would have to win the last 2 games. So definitely still a possibility for Getafe to go down. They will want to get the 3 points out here today, because they don't know if they'll be going down or not. It'll depend on other results. So for Getafe, it's also a must-win game. So again, an important match for both of these sides for 2 different reasons. Now, we're going to talk about the last time these two sides did face each other, and that was all the way back in December at the Coliseum Stadium, where the man himself, Guy Larin, did get a penalty for his side and scored it in the 53rd minute to win it for his side, winning 0-1 at the Coliseum Stadium. And again, that was all the way back in December, and that was the last matchup between these two sides. So it has been a while, all the way back in December. Looking at now, all the way in pretty much the middle of May, it's been quite a while since these two sides have faced each other. A lot has happened since then. I'd say Real Mallorca are a better side, a bit of a better side ever since then. Maybe a bit the same. Getafe, on the other hand, I definitely think they've dropped the rhythm a little bit. And again, as I did mention, they're just struggling so much to score goals recently. And, scoring a goal at the Son Moix Stadium up against Real Mallorca is really not an easy task. It's something that not a lot of teams can do. It is a challenge. When Real Mallorca play at home defensively, they become, very much more solid. Now, usually Real Mallorca have been working with a 5 at the back system, coming out with a 5-3-2, but today they have switched up the lineup. They are starting with 4 at the back this time, going for a 4-2-3-1. Mateo Morey actually starting at right back here, and Pablo Maffeo actually surprisingly starting up front at right mid, so quite a strange tactic that Real Mallorca have gone for today. Dominic Greif in net, despite Leo Roman's brilliant performances recently up against the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid. Leo Roman, that's something you have to talk about. The amazing match he had last time out up against Real Madrid, making 11 saves up against that Real Madrid side. And yeah, again, he's still not starting for Real Mallorca. Dominic Greif is starting instead for him. Johan Mojica finally back here on the left back. At left mid, we have Dani Rodriguez. In the center attacking mid is Sergi Derder, and up front is the man himself, Velat Muriki. And at center defensive mids, they do have Samu Costa and Omar Mascarell. So the usual lineup, except for a bit of change on that right side where Mateo Morey starting at right back and Pablo Maffeo starting at right mid. A bit of a change there in this usual regular Real Mallorca side, but again, not a bad one. Pablo Maffeo offensively, I definitely think is a decent threat. And there's a lot of quality and a lot of pace on that right mid for Real Mallorca. Mateo Morey, what a player he has been this season for Real Mallorca. Last time out against Real Madrid, in my opinion, he was absolutely spectacular up against that Real Madrid side. And again, I did mention it, he is a big player. He has played with lots of big players. Playing at Dortmund, playing along big names, big sides like Jude Bellingham and many other players. Unfortunately, he got heavily injured, and that's why he did transfer club. But again, for me, he's a brilliant player. He should be starting for this side. And I'm very excited to see him here again today. And of course, still plenty of players on the bench. There are some missing players for this Real Mallorca side. As usual, Chiquinho is still out injured up until next year. Takuma Sano is out again in the squad out here tonight, as they did take him out just last minute of the lineup in Real Madrid just last week out, as he did pick up an injury in the training just the day before. He's out again here today. And Abdon Prats is also still out due to a foot injury that he did pick up just a few weeks ago. But the rest of the players are back. Manu Morlanes is actually back here in this lineup, as he has also been out injured. So that is also good news. Robert Navarro is also back in the bench after being out injured. So those two players that have been out injured are now back here today in this Real Mallorca squad. I don't think they'll get many minutes, as they have been hurt. Maybe they'll come on for the bench in the last 10 minutes. Maybe they won't come on. But it's good news for Real Mallorca to have more options. But again, they've just come back from injury. They might not be at their sharpest. One thing I do also want to talk about, Vedat Muriki, he's been spectacular this season, but ever since he got back from injury, he's not quite been as sharp. But of course, that is completely normal when a player gets back from injury. He's not at his finest. So, that's something that Getafe also have to take into consideration, is that, the man up front is still a bit shaky since coming back from injury, still trying to find his form again. But, How can you blame him? It's completely normal. It does happen with most footballer players. Now, one thing we do also have to talk about is, when is the last time that this Getafe side came here at the San Martin Stadium to play against this Real Mallorca side? And we're going to talk about that because that was all the way back in October 2023, where both of these teams did take home a point each, ending 0-0, with both teams going goalless. So a quiet match last time this Getafe side came all the way to San Martin Stadium. But again, that was all the way back out in October 2023. So quite a while ago since this Getafe side has come here at the San Martin Stadium. So we'll see what they have to offer now. If it's going to be any better or any worse, we will see. But again, as I didn't mention, Getafe have been struggling so much recently just with scoring goals. It's something that they really are missing. But yeah, again, it's something that maybe Real Mallorca have also been struggling with a little bit recently. But they are starting to look a bit stronger up front. And with Takuma Sano missing, I think he's just an individual type of player that Real Mallorca do not really have on the squad. He's a type of player that causes threat up front. He makes the runs, constantly making the defenders stay on their toes and keep an eye on him. He does have quality on his feet. He's just a type of player that Real Mallorca don't have to replace. And again, him missing here tonight, it's a shame for this Real Mallorca squad, but hopefully they can still do it without him. And again, Vedan Muriqi, the maximum goal scorer this season for Real Mallorca, he's got 7 goals to his name. And if we look at that Getafe side, who is the maximum goal scorer? It is the man himself, Mauro Arambarri. He is starting out here tonight. He is playing on the left mid, left wing side. And he's got 9 goals this season for Getafe. So, if there's anyone to look out for here tonight, it is that man right there on this Getafe side, as he has the man that's got 9 goals to his name. A decently high amount of numbers. So that's something that, this Real Mallorca side does have to keep an eye out for. Because, despite him being he's more of a midfield player, he's still got 9 goals to his name. He's still the maximum goal scorer for Getafe. And that's something that they do have to take into consideration. Now again, as you can see on the screen here, Robert Navarro finally back after picking up his injury. He's been out for quite some time, and he is an important player in this Real Mallorca side. And he's just been so unlucky with injuries this season. It's not the first time he's been out. He's been out 2 or 3 times this season. And again, he is just such an important player, so it's finally good to have Robert Navarro back. And Manu Morlan is also back, because I will say, Real Mallorca, they have been quite unlucky this season picking up injuries. They have had so many injuries, and I feel like if it wasn't for that, then, they wouldn't have stepped down the rhythm as they did, throughout the middle of the season. They stepped it down a little bit. And you could see they were just missing so many important players, and it's such a shame for injuries causing these problems. But again, all teams have to deal with it, so, they just have to do what they can. Martin Valgent, what a centre-back he has been this season for Real Mallorca, even scoring last time out up against Real Madrid, the Slovakian, who did renew his contract this season. He is staying a few more years. And again, he's just been such an impressive centre-back for me this season. I'm a big fan of him. Him along the sides of Antonio Raillo are 2 decently very strong centre-backs. Physical and fairly fast for me. Again, I'm a big fan of them. And again, 3 goals for him this season. And he's actually never scored for the club. So for him to score 3 this season is absolutely amazing. It just shows you the type of centre-back he is. And up against Real Madrid, we actually saw, how much he was going up offensively, how much he was taking it into his own hands. He was just constantly going up the pitch there. And it's just something you love to see from, defenders when they can even go up and also play offense and score goals. It's something you like to see. And that's why I actually believe Pablo Maffeo, again, playing at right mid here today, strangely, it's probably because he does have a good offensive side to him, and he can cause a threat up front, and that's why he is playing to say up front out here today. And that right mid, that right side of the pitch is something Getafe are really going to have to look out for. Playing, with Mateu Morey and Pablo Mafeo, two very, very quick players, both with quality on their feet, and both can defend and attack. So again, for me, that right side is what's going to cause the most danger in this matchup here today for Getafe. So that's something that they're really going to have to keep an eye out for. Now, we are just about 14 minutes away from kickoff, so do not go anywhere because we will be going underway very soon, just 14 minutes away before the referee blows his whistle and we undergo here at the Son Mosh Stadium. So do not go anywhere if you do want to see that. We are going to be going live throughout the whole match, and then after the match, of course, like always, we will have the player interviews and the manager press conference. So make sure to stay here, make sure to join me with that. Do not go anywhere, as we have plenty more to talk about before the kickoff here. And again, as I said, it's just going to be such a good game. But one thing you do have to say is usually when these two sides do face each other, there's not a lot of goals between these two sides. It's always a 0-0, a 1-0. There's never a lot of goals when these two sides do face each other. So that's why I just think it's going to be so intense out here today. Again, as both sides do need those 3 points desperately. And, Getafe aren't a team. They are a team that's got a lot of experience in the first division. Matter of fact, they have spent all the way from 2004 until 2016 constantly in the first division. But what happened in 2016 is they did get relegated, but as soon as they got relegated 1 year later, 2017, they came right back up. And they have been in the first division ever since. So they do have experience playing in the first division. They have plenty of experience. That's something you have to take into consideration. They know how to survive. They know how to stay in the big leagues. And when they're in danger, I think that's when they're going to be most dangerous. And they are in danger out here today. So Real Mallorca are really going to need to have the intensity and the quality to keep up with them. Now, if you do look at the screen here, you can take a look at the highlights of the last matchup between Real Mallorca and Getafe at the Coliseum Stadium. As I did mention, when it comes to goals, it was a very quiet match. There was plenty of chances between the two sides. I do remember this match. It was a big display from Dominic Greif. He made some very, very big saves. And again, Real Mallorca, they just have two keepers that are absolutely spectacular. With Leo Roman putting in this performance that he has been giving recently up against Barcelona and Madrid, the two biggest sides in the league, making an average of 11 saves per match. And then Dominic Greif, who's also been spectacular this season. Real Mallorca have some of the two best goalkeepers I think there are in the LaLiga division. And with Getafe struggling so much to scoring 0 goals out of the last 5, it's really not going to be easy for Getafe to score out here today. And again, look how many chances Real Mallorca had this matchup, but they just couldn't manage to score. But luckily for them, it was a play where the man himself goes down there, Kai Larin. He does get the penalty for his side, and then he takes it himself and again proceeds to put it in the back of the net, scoring it. Even though for me, it could have been almost outside of the box. It was a very close one. But again, referee awarded the penalty. Kai Larin, calm as you like, puts it in that bottom left corner. And that was the only goal of the match. There were plenty more chances for both sides. It was a quiet match. But again, the 3 points is all that matters. And they did get the 3 points out there. I would argue a complicated stadium, to get 3 points at. Now, if we look at the last 5 matchups between these two sides, Real Mallorca have won 3, Getafe has won 1, and one of them was a draw. Matter of fact, in the last 2 matchups, Real Mallorca have won both of those last 2 matchups between these two sides. So that's something you do also have to take into consideration. Getafe, when it comes to playing against Real Mallorca, they aren't exactly the dominant side. And, I was actually looking at some of their players, and they don't exactly have very, dominant players. They don't have very star players, especially when it comes to offensive. But one thing they do have is when it comes to defending as a team, playing solid at the back. They are a decent side, and Real Mallorca aren't exactly the best side at scoring goals. So that's something that they are going to need to look out for here tonight. But again, I think all the odds are for Real Mallorca out here today. The only thing that would put doubt in my mind is the fact that Getafe are a team that fight for survival, and today they need to fight for survival. So that does worry me a little bit, but hopefully the luck is with Real Mallorca here today and not for Getafe. And again, Getafe haven't won a single match in the last 6 matchups. They've been in really, really poor form. But as I did mention, they do know how to survive when it comes to staying in the first division. Now we are going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back very soon. Do not go anywhere because we have Kickoff coming off in just 10 minutes. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly.
Club. Ya acaba de sonar el himno del Real Club Deportivo Mallorca. Aplausos aquí de un estadio Somos que poco a poco se va llenando. Vemos como la gente que ha apurado la previa va entrando y va ocupando su...
And now we are finally just about 2 minutes away from kickoff here. We have a very exciting match up ahead of us here. Of course, we have the players lining up. We have Jacob Arrasate sitting there. I'm sure feeling the nerves out here today. And again, it's going to be a special one. We have the players out on the pitch here now. And we're just waiting for that referee to put the ball in the middle of that pitch and blow his whistle, and we will get underway again. Taking a look at the images here of Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager. And I'm more than sure, and I know it, that he is feeling the pressure. The question is, can he deal with it? And just the other day, up against Real Madrid, he did make a big accomplishment. 500 official matches as a professional manager. And it's a big number to accomplish. And a big, big accomplishment for him. And now, again, we're just waiting for the referee who's talking there to Vidal Murigi. To go here in the way. We're just about a few seconds away from kickoff. And again, we have a very exciting matchup from both of these sides. And again, in case you did miss the lineup, we do have Pablo Maffeo right mid with Mateo Morey at the right back. A very strong right side from that Real Mallorca, and surprisingly starting Pablo Maffeo up front instead of playing him at the back, as he's usually a defender, but today he's playing in the offense, and he does have the quality to do so. So Real Mallorca, again, as I said, with Mateo Morey at starting today at right back. I'm a big, big fan of him. And then at right mid, Pablo Maffeo up front. So, very excited to see what this match does have to offer. And again, Real Mallorca not going with the typical 5 at the back formation that they usually do go with. Today, instead, starting with a 4-3-2-1 system. 4-2-3-1 system, sorry. Now the referee has put the ball in the middle of the pitch. And Getafe will be starting the match. Now the referee waiting to blow his whistle. And now we're just waiting. For some reason, the referee hasn't gone under the way yet here. The number 5 will be kicking the ball off for Getafe, Milla. And applauds all around the Son Moix Stadium from these Real Mallorca fans for how far their team has come this season, as it's been such an impressive display. But for some reason the match isn't kicking off here. Something I think is going on with the referee's system. But now Getafe have blown their whistle, and we are on the way here. And now we finally start. Getafe booting the ball up, going right throw it. But they have given a throw in to Real Mallorca. And now Real Mallorca again need the win here today. I hope every single fan at home, every single Real Mallorca staff, fan, player is just as nervous as I am here now. As again, it's such an important match. Lovely ball there from Dani Rodriguez into Samu Costa. They do lose the ball there. Dani Rodriguez, he does get it back. It's Johan Mojica. Mojica now trying to take it past two of those Getafe wingers. The referee does blow his whistle, awarding a free kick to Getafe. as he just steps on that number 21, Iglesias. Just clips him a little bit there, Mojica. I'm not quite sure what's going on, as Jacob Arrasate seems to be arguing with one of the Getafe players. Just a minute in, and this match is already starting to kick off here. Again, take a look at the replay here. Does not look intentional at all. It just looks like both players went for the ball there, Mojica and Iglesias. And those Getafe players not happy with Mojica, although it doesn't look like it was intentional in the slightest now. It was a drop ball and has been given back to Getafe here. They're going to open it down that left-hand side, Getafe. So Uche plays it in short, looking for Uche, playing the long ball. It ends up going to Mayoral, who plays it back into that number 11, who gets the very poor shot off. And here's Getafe hitting the crossbar here. And what a chance that was there for Neom, as it was going right into that top left corner. And it just hits that crossbar. And what a shot that was there from Neom. Taking a look at the replay there. Striking his right foot, curling it outwards, almost into that top left corner. Would have been an amazing goal. And now Real Mallorca, lucky to not be behind here in the first few minutes. They're going to need to step up the quality a little bit here, Real Mallorca. Vidal Muriqui does get taken down here. It is going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca. It was Alderete who took down Muriqui there. The number 5 for Getafe. Taking a look at the replay there. What a shot that was there from Neom. What a goal it would have been for him. And now, it was a decent header, a decent chance by Real Mallorca. They were still showing the replay. I didn't even see the chance. Taking a look at the replay. Again, it's Pablo Maffeo crossing it into Dani Rodriguez, who takes a shot off there. Lovely effort. And a lovely cross from Pablo Maffeo, who, as I said, again, I think is going to be dangerous today on the offensive threat. As again, he's usually a defender, but today he's starting up front. But I do like the idea from Jacob Arrasate. Now Real Mallorca have to play from the back. It's Mateo Morey who turns around very well against Uche to get away. He does end up getting the throw in here. And Omar Mascarell giving it back now. It's Martin Valgent. Now here's Mojica, and it's been a very good start to this match so far, definitely from both sides. But again, I just can't get over that chance from Getafe. I mean, what a shot that was to hit right off the crossbar. Now here's Getafe. Are going to take it forward. Open it out to that left-hand side. It's Alderete with the ball here. Alderete is going to play it out wide, trying to play it through, but Johan Mojica is there to cut out the pass. Samu Costa does get the rebound. Playing it into Darder. No one's there to pick up his pass. Now it's Terrats trying to play a lovely through ball into Uche. Mateo Jaume was there to get there first. Dominic Grave clearing it, giving a goal kick to Getafe. Just looks like he slipped there. Now Getafe do have a throw in here. Iglesias to take the throw in here for Getafe. Taking the throw and trying to play into Neom. Antonio Rayo there to clear it. Iglesias again putting it back in. It's Neom. Martin Valgent there to clear it first. Now Daniel Rodriguez trying to bring the ball down here. Getafe do end up getting a throw in. And now Somos, these fans trying to push their team on forward. It's Terrats here. Terrats trying to put in the cross into Uche, who does get the header off. And one of these Getafe players do pick it up. It's Mojica fighting. It's Samu Costa fighting for the ball. Now Mojica does block the pass here. It was Arambari and Samu Costa both just battling for that ball. And again, Arambari, probably the most dangerous Getafe player out there here today. The maximum goal scorer for Getafe. He does have 9 goals this season for them. Now Iglesias puts the throw in here. Pablo Maffeo is there to clear it. It's Mateo Morey fighting for the ball. Getafe boot it up to see if there's any luck here. It's Neom. Heads on forward into Terrats. And the ball goes out for a goal kick here for Real Mallorca. And now it's going to be a goal kick here for Dominic Grafe. He does take it quickly. Plays it into Raello. Now here's Mojica. Trying to play it forward. It's going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. Now here's Mojica into Omar Mascarey. Trying to play it forward. It does land to Moriki, who tries playing a through ball into Maffeo, who does block the goalkeeper's clearance. It was Soria who tried to clear the ball there. Pablo Maffeo was there to cut it out, but the ball rolled out to be a throw-in. It was a dangerous chance there for Real Mallorca. And a decent effort. Now Pablo Maffeo fighting for that ball here. As Getafe almost lose that throw in here. Now here's Getafe. They're going to play it forward here. It's Terrats who's going to play it forward into Uche. Now it's Uche who's calling for his teammates' support. Again, back to Uche up against Mateo Morey. Mateo Morey putting in the cross here, and a big save by Dominic Grafe. And what chance that was there. Iglesias with the header. And a lovely save there by Dominic Grafe. Making himself wide. Like a brick wall. Just gets there with his hand like a cat. What a save that was there by Dominic Grafe. Look at that. He just makes himself wide and jumps in the air. And does get his hand on it. A big save. A poor clearance there by Johan Mojica that almost could have been a goal. But luckily for them, it was not. Now Real Mallorca. Antonio Raello into Martin Valgent. Martin Valgent to Antonio Raello. Now Real Mallorca looking for a way forward here. And we are also keeping an eye out on the other results again. As Osasuna are currently playing Espanyol and Rayo are currently playing Celta Vigo. And that will affect Real Mallorca's placements depending on the results. So we will be keeping an eye on that. Now Omar Mascarey playing it into Mojica. It's Antonio Rayo. Now here's Getafe. Getafe finding a decent way through here. They're going to play it out to the left, out wide. Putting in the cross here, Getafe. Mateo Morey is there to block it. Sergi Derder, he turns around very, very well. But again, where is his support? He has no help there. And where were the strikers in that situation? It was very good effort from Sergi Derder, but again, he just had no support there. Now here's Arambari, sitting deep in this Getafe team so far. Even though he is more of a goal scorer, it's Iglesias who does a poor spin there, loses the ball for Getafe. And this is a match that definitely should be a win for Real Mallorca. Now it's Martin Valgent. Mateo Jaume back to Valgent. Valgent to Raello. Out to Dominic Grave. Dominic Grave playing into Omar Mascarey. Now taking it forward here, Real Mallorca. It's Mateo Jaume into Pablo Maffeo. Pablo Maffeo out to Sergi Derder. And Sergi Derder, he's just so good at sitting deep and finding those little gaps to play him through. And he just turns around so well. He deals so well with the pressure. What player he's been this season for Real Mallorca. Been so impressive. And now here's Derder trying to play it free into Muriqi. But Getafe was there to clear it. Alderete did clear the cross for Getafe. Now it is going to be a corner kick for Real Mallorca. The first one of the match here. 13 minutes in. And this year, Real Mallorca have scored quite a few goals from set pieces, but recently it has been a bit quiet for them. Now here's Sergi Derder, who puts in the cross into Antonio Raillo, who does get his head on it, but it just goes over that crossbar. It just goes too wide. But it was a very good effort there from Antonio Raillo, just too much power on it, putting it over that crossbar. It's good effort there from Real Mallorca. And now Soria to take the goal kick for Getafe. Now taking the goal kick here. Getafe instantly giving the ball all the way back to Real Mallorca's goalkeeper. And so far, so good for Real Mallorca. Now, Dominic Grave into Martin Valgent. Real Mallorca taking their time to play from out the back, not rushing it. It's Mateo Jaume out wide to Raillo. It's Raillo into Samu Costa. Samu Costa out to Mateo Jaume into Pablo Maffeo. Real Mallorca taking it very slowly here, not rushing it. Now it's Mateo Jaume out to Pablo Maffeo. Maffeo into Derder. It's Derder. He's going to put in the cross here. Not enough height on it. Alderete was there to clear it. Now Getafe trying to play from at the back, but again, they just keep on giving away the ball. Rayon trying to pass it on forward to Muriqi. And now it is going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca, as Duarte cleared it for Getafe. Playing it safe here, Getafe, Duarte not risking anything. So it is going to be a throw in for Johan Mojica. Playing it into Raillo. Raillo is going to play it back. And Real Mallorca are going to restart the play here. Playing it into Darder, who again just turns around so well. He can't quite get the pass off. They do get the ball back here, Mallorca. Omar Mascarell into Samu Costa. Johan Mojica into Samu Costa. It's lovely play here from Real Mallorca. Now here's Martin Valdent, who's taking it forward himself. Plays into Mateo Jama, who tries putting in the cross again. Alderete there to clear it. Just not enough height on those crosses. Now here come Getafe maybe with a chance. Breaking from the counter-attack is Iglesias. He does get fouled here by Samu Costa. And it is going to be a free kick for Getafe. Iglesias so far having a decent match here for this Getafe side. He is one of the players that is standing out the most, I would say. And again, if Real Mallorca can just get a bit more height on these crosses, then maybe they could start to get some dangerous chances here. As so far, they've not quite had a big chance. And Getafe trying to play a long ball here, but too much power on that. It's going to be a goal kick for Real Mallorca. And Dominic Greif is going to take it. And Celta Vigo have scored in the game of versus Rayo Vallecano, but Rayo Vallecano have actually just equalized. So it is 1-1 at the Celta Vigo against Rayo Vallecano game, which is good news, as a draw is good for Real Mallorca in that match. As long as they don't win, any result is good. And so far, Osasuna Espanyol 0-0. So again, you know, all Real Mallorca have to do is just get the 3 points out here today. It's Mateo Jama who tries turning around. He does get fouled here. It is going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca, as Arambari fouls Mateo Jaume here, pulling his shirt. Now Real Mallorca take it quickly. And I just think Real Mallorca should definitely go for a goal in this first half. It does look like they are playing a lot more offensive, trying to get the chances. So they just need to try and get a goal in this first half maybe, and then relax. Johan Mojica with a dangerous pass. Mayoral almost there to cut out the pass. Now here's Pablo Maffeo, who takes a lovely touch and turns around here. Playing it into Darder. Sergi Darder here, who cuts in. Darder playing it, trying to play into Muriqi. Omar Mascarell with the rebound. The shot is blocked. Now Mateo Jaume gets the rebound. They play it back, switching out to Mojica. And a decent chance there for Real Mallorca. It's Dani Rodriguez who plays it short to Samu Costa. And Real Mallorca now with all the rhythm in this match. But they are going to restart here, as the ball is back on their side of the pitch. They're going to play it out to Mateo Jaume on that right hand side, into Pablo Maffeo. It's Pablo Maffeo now, who puts in the cross into that second post. Tries getting it to Dani Rodriguez, but a bit too much high on the cross, and it has gone out for a throw-in for Getafe now. But those Real Mallorca fans singing and clapping their side on, as they need all the support they can get. It looks like Neom is going to take the throw in here for Getafe. And what a save that was there earlier from Dominic Reif. A big, big save. And thinking about it, Getafe could easily be 2-0 up right now, as they have had that crossbar big chance and then that save from Dominic Reif. So luckily for Real Mallorca to not be trailing here at the minute. But now Real Mallorca do have most of the rhythm, so they have to try and keep that up in this matchup here. Just about 22 minutes in here now. About 23 minutes left to go. And both of these teams goalless so far. There has been chances. And now Getafe putting on plenty of pressure here. Maffeo doing very well to clear it. Dani Rodriguez trying to bring it down. He can't. Samu Costa into Muriqi. The referee blows his whistle here for a foul on that number 5, Milla. Samu Costa claiming he did not touch him. I didn't quite see what happened. Taking a look at the replay here. Not quite sure how there's enough on that to be a foul. Never a foul, that in my opinion. But the referee did award it. Now Getafe do get the free kick here. And it's Milla who is going to take the free kick here. Trying to playing it out wide down the right hand side. Can't make it work. Samu Costa now chasing the ball down. He gets taken down here. It's going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca. And it was Terrats who just shoves Samu Costa down there. Now it's Martin Valgent out to Antonio Raillo. Into Dani Rodriguez, who's all alone. Tries playing a through ball down to Pablo Maffeo. Just not wide enough, too straight. And Dani Rodriguez having a bit of a bad start in this match here so far. It was good intention, but not quite good of enough pass. But again, they just have to keep on trying those until it works. Now Muriqi trying to fight for it. Alderete clears the ball up forwards. Now here's Mojica, who ends up with the ball. Playing a through ball, trying to play through ball into Dani Rodriguez. It does go out of bounds. It's going to be a throw in here for Getafe. And Jacobas Rasate, the Real Mallorca manager, not happy, apparently, with Getafe's time wasting. By the way, Osasuna have scored up against Espanyol, so they are leading 1-0, which is not good news for Real Mallorca. But Celta Vigo and Rayo Vallecano still 1-1 in that match. Antonio Raillo just ends up fouling the Getafe player there. And they are going to do a quick time out, a quick time break due to the heat here at the Sunmore Stadium. It's very warm here today. So they are doing a quick water break. A quick hydration break. Because again, as I did mention, it has been very warm here at this matchup. It's a strong 25 degrees Celsius here at the Sunmore Stadium. And now here's Martin Valgen talking to Sergi Derder, just arguing about something. Jacob Arrasate trying to get involved in the conversation. Just looks like they won't agree on something. And again, Real Mallorca just do have to keep an eye open. As we do mention, if we are talking about clear chances, Getafe have almost scored 2 very clear chances. But it is true that Real Mallorca have had most of the rhythm up until now. It has been, to say, possessive by Real Mallorca, constantly with the ball, constantly attacking, whereas Getafe haven't really had much. They have had those 2 very big chances, but apart from that, it's not been dangerous enough from Getafe. Now Pablo Maffeo is going to clear the ball up. No one's there. Getafe goes all the way back to the ball for Soria, who picks the ball up. He's going to play it short, and Getafe are now finally with a bit of possession of the ball. They're going to try and play it forward, trying to play it long into Uche, but Martin Valgent is there to clear it. Muriqi trying to head it on forward. It is going to be a throw-in here for Real Mallorca. And taking it quickly, Mallorca, again, as they are looking for that goal. Real Mallorca. Now Antonio Rayo into Martin Valgent. It's Mateo Jaume, Sergi Derder. Uche is there to cut out the play from Real Mallorca. Now here's Getafe. It's Terrats here with the ball. Terrats faking it. Decides he's going to play it back here. Getafe decide to maybe try and hold the ball a little bit and calm the situation down. Now here's Neom, the number 12. Does get fouled here by Dani Rodriguez. Doesn't quite... There's not a lot on that, but it is a free kick, of course. Neom not happy with Dani Rodriguez. Now Getafe do have a free kick here that they are going to put into that penalty area zone. Trying to put in the cross. Daniel Rodriguez was there to block it. It just hits his head. And Mia's cross didn't even make it in, as Dani Rodriguez was there to block it somehow with his head. But it is going to be a throw in here for Getafe. And now the rhythm has slowed down a little bit for Real Mallorca. Now Dani Rodriguez there to head it out forwards. Muriqi heading it forward into Sergi Derder. It's Samu Costa out to Muriqi. Muriqi is going to play a lovely through ball here into Mateo Jaume, who has the ball in the box here. Turns around very well. Puts in a low cross. But Getafe there was there to cut out the pass. And what a chance that was there. And what a ball from Muriqi. But the referee has blown his offside whistle here now. No, he's actually blown a free kick on Uche from Omar Mascarell. I'm not quite sure if that ball from Muriqi was offside. It was not. What chance that was there. It's just a poor touch from Mateo Jaume, unfortunately, that takes him out wide. Then he does well to turn around, puts in the pass, but unfortunately, Rico was there to get a touch on it and cut out the pass. But what a pass that was there from Muriqi into Mateu Jaume. And now here's Getafe, maybe with a bit of chances. Terrats putting it through the legs of Samu Costa. And now here's Terrats with the ball. Going to try and put in the cross here. Getafe. Iglesias was there. He did get his head on it, but it is going to be a throw-in here. Not quite sure who got their head on that one. It's going to be a throw-in for Getafe, I believe. As it was Dani Rodriguez who got there on time to clear it. And thank God he did, as he was all alone. Now Iglesias putting the throw-in in here. Real Mallorca clearing it. The referee blows his whistle. Free kick here for Real Mallorca. And again, Getafe are starting to pick up the rhythm a little bit here now. So they do have to start to look out here, Real Mallorca. Now here's Omar Mascarell. Playing it into Raillo. Dani Rodriguez out to Samu Costa. They're going to play it back to Dominic Grave. Now here's Muriqi trying to bring the ball down. It goes out to be a throw-in here for Getafe. Now it looks like Neom's going to take the throw in here for Getafe. Martin Valgent playing it all the way back to Dominic Grave. 33 minutes in here now in this matchup so far. The match has definitely slowed down a little bit in these last 5 to 10 minutes. Especially for Real Mallorca. Now Samu Costa into Omar Mascarell. Again, the ball goes all the way back to Dominic Grave. It's Martin Valgent into Omar Mascarell. Omar Mascarell trying to play a long through ball into Pablo Maffeo. Pablo Maffeo does get there on time, puts in the cross. The referee has awarded a goal kick. Pablo Maffeo claiming it was a corner. Not quite sure if it was a goal kick or a corner, as they both just touch it. But the referee has awarded a goal kick either way to Getafe. Now Uche heading it on forward. Antonio Raillo kicking it back. The ball's just bouncing all over the place. Both teams fighting for it. Real Mallorca end up bringing it down here. It's Mojica who tries taking it forward. He does get away with it. Tries maybe to dribble a little bit too much. Ends up losing it to Milla. Now Uche trying to turn around with the ball here. Mateu Jaume picks it up. He's going to try and play it through into Maffeo, but it's a poor pass. Now Real Mallorca do get the throw in here. They do take it quickly. It's Sergi Derder just putting in the cross into Muriqi. Can anyone bring it down here? Raillo does end up bringing it down, heading it forward to Johan Mojica. It's Mojica who plays it back out to Antonio Raillo. Martin Valgent now. And Real Mallorca just looking for a way forward. It's Antonio Raillo is going to play it out to Mojica. Mojica into Samu Costa. Now Samu Costa. The pass gets cut out there. It's going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. And not long to go here now before the end of this first half. Just about 9 minutes left to go plus extra time. And can Real Mallorca get a goal before the end of the first half? Trying to put in the cross here. Again, just not enough height on the cross. Muriqi looking for it, but the passes just don't get to him. Now Mojica with a poor pass ends up giving away a throw-in to Getafe. Now Getafe do have a throw-in here in quite a dangerous position. Now Getafe is going to take the throw in, try to play it into Uche. Real Mallorca do end up clearing the ball. Muriqi fighting for it. He does end up getting fouled here. And it is going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca. Clear foul there on Muriqi. And now Real Mallorca don't have long to go to try and get a goal before the end of the first half. It's Mojica who's going to play it. Try and play into Samu Costa. Almost end up losing it there, Mallorca. And they're just looking for a way out from the back here. These Real Mallorca defenders. Getafe putting on the press and it's working for them. It's Milla who gets the ball back for Getafe, putting in the cross here. And now Getafe is going to lose it. Real Mallorca is going to break on the counter-attack here. It's Mojica breaking forward here. Tries putting in the cross. It's blocked. Arambari tries clearing it. But he does get a throw in here for the Getafe side. Pablo Maffeo's on the ground here in the penalty area box. Not quite sure what happened. Taking a look at the replay here. Just gets hit on the neck there. Doesn't look intentional at all. Most definitely not enough on it for a penalty. Now it's going to be a throw in here for this Getafe side. Neom takes the throw in. And Celta Vigo and Rayo Vallecano still 1-1 in that match. And Osasuna still leading up against Espanyol 1-0. So no changes in either of those matches. Now Martin Balgent into Mateo Jaume. Dani Rodriguez help playing through the middle here. He's going to turn around and play almost a lovely through ball into Samu Costa. And it was a decent effort there by Dani Rodriguez. It's a lovely ball there. Lovely effort. Samu Costa just couldn't manage to get a touch on it and bring it down. And now Getafe do get the goal kick here. We're just 40 minutes in. There's 5 minutes left to go plus extra time, which I'm guessing will not be a high amount as there's not been much time wasting. Now Dani Rodriguez trying to get past Neom here. And it is going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. And the fans all whistling and blowing because Neom is not happy with Dani Rodriguez. Oh, Mojica trying to put in the cross. Muriqi does get a touch on it, but they just can't make the most of it. Now Getafe clear the ball here, and it could have been a very dangerous chance there for Real Mallorca. But Getafe were there to clear it. Now here's Dani Rodriguez into Mojica. Now, Martin Balgent into Omar Mascarey. Samu Costa playing it into Mojica. Mojica, Samu Costa into Sergi Derder, into back to Samu Costa, who's going to play it back to the centre backs here. It's Antonio Rayo who's takes it forward, plays it into Martin Balgent. Martin Balgent into Mateo Jaume. Out wide to Pablo Maffeo. Pablo Maffeo into Derder. Back to Pablo Maffeo, who tries putting in the cross here. Getafe do head it up. And it is going to be a corner kick here for Real Mallorca. And can they make anything from this before the end of the first half? 42 minutes in here. And hopefully Real Mallorca can make something from it. Sergi Derder to put in the cross here for Real Mallorca. Putting in the cross in here. Getafe do end up clearing it. Mateo Jaume does pick up the rebound. Here's Samu Costa. Samu Costa puts the cross back in. Again, no one is there. Now Mojica picks up the rebound. Another cross into that second post, looking for Muriqi, who just can't get his head on it. And the referee's flag does go up for the offside. There's quite a few of those Real Mallorca players were offside there in that occasion from the cross of Johan Mojica. And now Soria to take the free kick for Getafe. Playing it into Ucha, who does head it forward. Now here's Real Mallorca playing it into Maffeo, who can't get there on time. They do get the throw in here. Real Mallorca. "44 minutes in here now. And there's not long left to go before the end of the first half. The ball is all the way back to Dominic Grave. And there's only 1 minute added on of extra time. So there's going to be about 2 minutes left here. And now Real Mallorca, can they make anything from it? It's Antonio Rayo who tried playing a through ball, looking for Muriqi or Samu Costa, but it goes in the middle of both of them. And it's going to be a throw in here for Getafe. Again, 3 minutes added on here of extra time. Now Getafe get the ball back. They play it out to that left-hand side. Rico is playing a through ball into Uche. It's Uche now on the left-hand side, playing it back. Getafe giving the ball right into the feet of Mojica, who tries clearing it. Now Real Mallorca trying to break on the counter-attack. It's Uche. He ends up picking the rebound up on that left-hand side again. Holding the ball here, Uche. He does get taken down here, and the referee does blow a free kick for Getafe. And Pablo Maffeo picks up the yellow card here. And Pablo Maffeo claiming that he's the one that got fouled as his boot did come off. Taking a look at the replay here, I didn't quite see which one happened. I do have to take a look at the replay here and see what happened. Pablo Maffeo didn't even have his boot on when he made the challenge. He was running with his boots off when he made the challenge. And when have you seen a player do that? But Uche, maybe it just could have looked like he could have been elbowed maybe on the chest. You can't quite see on the replay if he does hit him with his elbow or not. But either way, it is going to be a free kick here for Getafe. And a yellow card for Pablo Maffeo. And Rayo Vallecano apparently have scored in their match. And now they are leading 1-2 in that match. So not great news for Real Mallorca. But again, I just think Real Mallorca have to focus on this match. Now Getafe put in the cross here. And the ball, everyone's just heading it. It's going all over the place. Sergi Darder ends up clearing it. Now, Neom does pick up the rebound. Getafe trying to make anything from this. It is going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. Mallorca claiming he was getting fouled there. But the referee about to blow his whistle either way. Now it's Mojica to take the throw in for Real Mallorca. It plays into Samu Costa. Samu Costa holding the ball. Omar Mascarell kicking it up, trying to play into Muriqi. Pablo Maffeo. The ball has gone out of bounds, but the referee either way blows his halftime whistle. And that is the end of this first half here. Where I would say quite an equal display so far from both sides. But again, I mean, you know, within those first 5 minutes, Getafe were just all over the place, attacking non-stop, and they had two very big chances where they almost scored. But then I'd say, up until now, up until about the last 10 minutes, it was constantly Real Mallorca attacking and attacking. They just couldn't manage to put a goal in the back of the net. But Real Mallorca definitely looked like the more dominant side in that first half. But it was just not enough. They just need that bit more attacking, hunger. As they're just not giving enough up front. And again, Getafe did have those first two chances that were very, very close to being a goal. But I just think Real Mallorca are missing a bit more offensive. But either way, we will see what this second half does have to offer here. But either way, we're going to go on a quick break. And we'll be back very shortly for this second half. So again, do not go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. And we are back after that quick break, after that first half that ended goalless from both of these sides, ending 0-0 here at the Son Moix Stadium, where this Getafe side did have two very, very incredible chances just in the beginning, just in the first 5-10 minutes of the match, where the Getafe side hit the crossbar. It was Neom who had an amazing crossbar. And then Dominic Greif also made an amazing save from the header of the Getafe player Iglesias. But I would say it was from then onwards where Real Mallorca really did pick up the rhythm, start to play a lot. But they're just missing that bit more offensive threat. They've not had any chances, realistically. Real Mallorca so far, the only chance they've really had was the corner, which was a header from Antonio Rayo that went over the crossbar. But apart from that, I'd say it's been a very quiet first half. And now, the question is, has this Real Mallorca side made any changes here yet? This Getafe side has not particularly looked too dangerous so far. But again, they are one of the teams with the least goals in the LaLiga division. They scored 0 goals in the last 5 matches. So we didn't expect much from them offensively, but they haven't been too bad. But they've not looked dangerous. And Real Mallorca, the match is there for the taking, in my opinion. And we'll see if Jacob Arrasate has made any changes. I don't believe he has. And I don't believe any of these sides have actually made any changes so far. It looks like neither of these sides have made a change going into the second half. Nor Real Mallorca nor Getafe have made any changes in the lineup so far. Both of these teams are sticking with the same players going into the second half. So we will see what comes from it if they can step up the rhythm just that little bit more. And, really go for it in the second half. As I mentioned, this Real Mallorca side needs the 3 points today here to fight for that European football. And again, Rayo Vallecano leading at the minute up against Celta Vigo. And Osasuna leading up against Espanyol. And again, we're just waiting to get kicked off here. Also in the first half, Pablo Maffeo did pick up a yellow card. So he will, of course, have to be cautious. But again, none of these sides have made any changes in this second half. So we will see if Real Mallorca really can step up the rhythm. Again, they just need to step it up a bit more. They need a bit more offensively. And they can't afford to lose out here today. As if they do, the European football will be gone. Put it like that. And now, Real Mallorca kick off the match here. And it is on the way. And Muriqui trying to bring the ball down there, claiming he got fouled by Uche. The referee says no foul to continue play. And now Getafe do get the throw in here for their side. It's Rico who takes the throw in. They end up losing it. It's Real Mallorca now. Mojica up against Iglesias. Mojica is going to play it back to Antonio Raillo. Out to Dominic Greif. And one thing I do want to mention, that Getafe, they do put on the pressure offensively and don't let Real Mallorca play easily from out the back. Samu Costa trying to play the pass through here. He can't make it work. Neom getting fouled here by Samu Costa. It is going to be a free kick for Getafe. Now, Getafe to take the free kick here for Real on the side of Real Mallorca's pitch. And now Getafe take the free kick here. Looks like it's a practice free kick that they are taking. Playing it into that number 9, Mayoral, who ends up losing the ball. Dani Rodriguez does clear it. It does go out of bounds, so it's going to be a throw-in for Getafe. And now Neom to take the throw-in here for Getafe. They end up clearing it here. It's Mojica with the ball, trying to play it maybe into Muriqui. Muriqui can't turn around. Dani Rodriguez picks up the rebound. He does get fouled here. It's going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca. And not only a foul, it's also going to be a booking for the number 5 there, Milla, who does end up breaking the counter-attacking play. So he does pick up a yellow card there. And now, Martin Valgent with the ball. Looks like the ball, they are changing the ball here as it's low on air, I believe, or it has popped. Now, Samu Costa trying to take it forward. He can't here. He ends up losing it to Getafe now. That can break on the counter-attack. Playing out to the left-hand side into Rico. Tries playing it into Arambari. But Arambori just looks like he tried to pass it again. End up giving it to Dominic Grave. Not quite sure what happened there. But luckily for Real Mallorca that they did give that way, as it was a very dangerous chance. Now here's Martin Valgent into Mojica, who tries playing a free ball into Samu Costa. He does end up taking down Neom in the progress of it. And it just looks like Neom maybe goes down a bit too easily there. And that's why Samu Costa is not happy with Neom. And it doesn't look like there's much on it, to be fair to him. But the referee has decided it. And now Getafe are going to take the free kick here. Soria trying to play it long. Maybe looking for Uche, who does well, Uche, to get the corner here for Getafe. And it's just not working out here for Real Mallorca tonight. Maybe they need a change. I think they should bring some substitutes on. Uche does very well there to get the corner from Martin Valgent. And now Milla to take the corner here for Getafe. Putting the corner into that first post. Antonio Rayo clears it. Rico does pick up the rebound. Sergio Roder gets a touch on it, but he just can't follow it up. Now Getafe do get the throw in here. And Getafe holding quite the high amount of possession in this second half. Mateo Jaume is there to clear it. And Muriqui just seems to be almost non-existent in this match so far. I can't actually recall him almost touching the ball this matchup. He's just not been there, but to be fair, he's not received a lot of passes. Now here's Getafe attacking quite intensely down that right hand side. It's Iglesias holding the ball here. Dani Rodriguez trying to get it back. Again, Real Mallorca just keep on booting the ball up and giving it right back to Getafe instead of playing with it, trying to play outwards. So that's something they keep on doing. They need to get better at it. And now, Martin Valgent. Can Real Mallorca make something? And giving the ball away, Antonio Rey with a poor pass, looking for Daniel Rodriguez, but he couldn't find him. Martin Valgent into Mojica, who again just boots it up. And they just keep on giving it back to Getafe. Now out to Rico on the left-hand side. Rico looking for Arambari. Rico putting in the cross. Rayo's there to clear it. And it goes out to play. It is going to be a throw in here for Getafe. Now here's Uche, who's holding it very well. Tries backheeling it. And Mateo Jama does touch it. And Getafe do get the corner. And Jacob Arrasate maybe has to start looking for a change in this matchup, as it's just not quite working for Real Mallorca so far. Now here's Milla putting in the cross here. No danger so far. Mateo Jama picks up the rebound, tries clearing it. Girona do block it, but it is going to be a goal kick. Now here's Mojica. Mojica's going to play it back to Rayo. Rayo out to Samu Costa. Samu Costa out wide to Pablo Maffeo. Maffeo's going to play it back to Samu Costa. And Real Mallorca looking for a way through, as this Getafe side know how to defend well, know how to close as a team. That's something that they are doing very well at the minute. Not giving Mallorca any room to play the ball. Sergi Derder into Mojica. Back to Sergi Derder, out to Omar. Omar Mascarell is going to switch it all the way through, looking for Dani Rodriguez. But again, too much power on the pass. It's going to be a goal kick here for Getafe. And now Jacob Arrasate looking stressed. Sitting down. Looking for a solution. Now Soria takes the goal kick. Trying to play it through into Uche. But they do very well to play it into Mateo Jama. Uche gets it back. It's Uche here. Just holding it himself. He does play it into that number 11 there, Terrats. They do get the corner, Getafe. And it's constantly Getafe on the ball. Real Mallorca just can't seem to find a way to gain possession of that ball. And they really need to calm the play down here, Mallorca. Because they keep on losing the ball instantly every time they get it back. Now Getafe putting in the corner here. Dominic Reif does get a hand on it. Mojica clears it. Now it's going to be a throw in here for Getafe. It's Terrats with the ball. Terrats putting in the cross into that second post. It does get to Arambari, who finishes the ball off, and it goes in the back of the net. And now Getafe lead here at the Somos Stadium. And how disappointing is this for Real Mallorca? And Arambari was just completely on his own when that cross went in. And that's 10 goals for Arambari this season. And he's just completely on his own, not a single man on him. And it's a lovely cross there from Terrats into that second post. But again, just no one on him. And all he has to do is get it on target, that close to the net. And now Getafe lead here at the Somos Stadium. But again, it's definitely not over. There's still 35 minutes left to go. But Real Mallorca really need to make a change here soon if they want to get back into this. And now Pablo Maffeo gets taken down here. It is going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca. Now Sergi Derder is going to take the free kick here. Now Sergi Derder, can he make anything from it and put in a decent cross here for Real Mallorca? Puts that cross in, looking for someone. They do get the head on it, but it's just not enough height on the cross. And now it's going to be a goal kick here for Getafe. And now Real Mallorca are going to be making the first substitute of the match here. Pablo Maffeo is going to be coming off here for Kai Larin, who scored last time out against Getafe. Can he do it here again? And now one of these Getafe players is on the ground here. It's Duarte who's on the ground. He has gone back up. He does look quite hurt here. Hopefully he is okay. And now Duarte actually is going to come off as he is hurt here. And now Berrocal is going to come on here for Duarte. So 2 changes for both of these teams in the second half. And now Getafe take the goal kick. And Uche tries taking it forward, but the ball's gone out of bounds. It's going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca, who take it quickly, playing into Kai Larin, his first touch of the game. He does very well to skip past his man here, Kai Larin. But Arambari is chasing it down. And Kai Larin has bumped into one of the Getafe players and the goalkeeper. The referee did blow his whistle. Looks like Arambari and Kai Larin are having a bit of a brawl here. And the Getafe goalkeeper's on the ground here, Soria. But I didn't quite see who hit who, as it was just about 3 players all bumping into each other. You just couldn't quite see. Taking a look at the replay here. it's just Arambari and Kai Larin who bump into each other. And then the goalkeeper does come in also out of nowhere. As Soria was just in the clash of those two people. It's just a bit of a everyone bumping into each other. But I don't think it's anyone's fault. It doesn't look like Kai Larin does it on purpose to hurt someone. But hopefully Soria is okay, of course. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. And now the second goalkeeper for Getafe is warming up just in case here. Still 13 minutes left to go. Plus all this added time that will be added on. Just taking a look at the goal there from Getafe. Arambari just walks in with no one on him, all alone. And of course, from there, all he has to do is get it on target. And now again another foul here. The ball just got back into play. Just got back into play, the ball, and now there's already been another foul between Samu Costa and one of the Getafe players. And the play will be stopped here again. It's Rico. Taking a look. Rico just hit Samu Costa in the ribs there. And both of these players on the ground here now. Not quite sure what the referee is going to award, if it's a foul for them or for us. And we've been about 5 minutes without the ball in play, or maybe even more. And the reason I'm not saying much is because the ball still isn't in play. Now there's finally going to be... The referee awarded the free kick to Getafe. Milla is going to put the cross in to that second post. Sergi Derder is there to clear it. Playing it into Neom here, Getafe. Neom into Uche, takes the shot off. And Uche puts it in the back of the net. Into that top left corner, Uche. And Getafe lead here 2-0 now. At the Son Moix Stadium. And now there's going to be a mountain to climb for Real Mallorca. Even if they want to get a draw, they still need to score 2. And it's not looking good for Real Mallorca here now. It could possibly be offside. Taking a look at the replay here. What a shot that is there by Uche. Putting in that top left corner. No saving that. What a shot from Uche. I'm not quite sure if they will check it for offside or not. And they did not check it for offside. The goal stands. And now Getafe lead 2-0 here at the Son Moix Stadium. And it's just so disappointing here. Now Samuel Costa into Muriqi. Out to Mojica. Mojica puts in the cross here for Guy Larin. You just can't jump up high enough. Now Getafe is going to take the throw in here. Omar Mascarell gets the ball back here. And it's not over this match for Real Mallorca, but they really need to step up the rhythm to get back into it. And now Real Mallorca really need to step up the rhythm here to get back in it. Losing 2-0 here at their own ground in a match that they most definitely had to win. And it's such a shame. Now, Dani Rodriguez losing the ball here. Getafe get the free kick. Sergi Darder committing the foul. Just taking a look at the replay here. No offside, just by centimeters. And it is a lovely goal from Getafe. But so disappointing. As Real Mallorca had such high hopes going into this match. And it looks like European football might be out of the books for Real Mallorca this season. And now Getafe take the corner. They play it short into Iglesias, who's going to put in the cross. Dominic Greif comes out to catch it. Now Real Mallorca really have nothing to lose here. They may as well go all out attack. Now here's Martin Valgent into Mateu Jaume. Dani Rodriguez back to Martin Valgent. Back to Dominic Greif. Now Antonio Raello losing the ball. And it's such a poor performance from Real Mallorca in this second half. I will say that it's just been so poor. They've not been able to keep possession of the ball in the slightest, losing it non-stop. Now lovely little flick here by Dani Rodriguez. Mateu Jaume trying to play it through into Guy Larin. The pass was cut out. They do get throw-in here, Real Mallorca. But it looks like Real Mallorca are going to make two changes here. Marc Dominic coming on for Mateu Jaume. And Dani Rodriguez coming on for Antonio Sanchez. So those are the two substitutes made here by Real Mallorca. And now Antonio Sanchez with the ball. His first touch of the match. Flicks it into Sergi Darder. Now Antonio Sanchez losing the ball here. And Getafe can break on the counter-attack. The ball is into Uche, who's on that left-hand side. Tries to take it himself. It's going to be a throw-in here for Real Mallorca. Now Real Mallorca take the throw in here. And not long to go. And if Real Mallorca want a chance to get back into this, they really need to go for that first goal. Now Martin Valgent's going to take it forward himself. Sergi Dardera lets the ball go through his legs. But no one is there. And this Real Mallorca side just looks so lost in the second half. And now they are going to do a quick hydration break here. But again, it's been so poor from this Real Mallorca side in the second half. And especially so disappointing. And at this rate, it doesn't look like there's going to be European football for Real Mallorca next season. And I mean, we are talking about a team that hasn't scored a goal in 5 matches. Now they've gone out and scored 2 yet their own ground. It's such a shame for Real Mallorca to perform like this out here today when they needed it the most in front of their own people. But either way, it has of course been a big season. Been a big season either way for Real Mallorca. But it's just poor defending. It's just this match, this Real Mallorca side, especially in the second half, is just all over the place. But hopefully these substitutes maybe can make a difference here. And we will see if it can make a change here. Maybe these substitutes can bring on a bit more energy for this Real Mallorca side as they look so down here at the minute. And now the ball is back in play here. Now Real Mallorca are going to go up from their own side of the pitch here. It's Samu Costa who turns around and just gives it away with a poor pass. And this Real Mallorca team really isn't here with us at the minute. Now it's Antonio Rayo out to Martin Valgent. Martin Valgent back to Rayo. Now trying to play through ball into Kai Ladin here, who tries playing it back to Mojica and almost loses the ball with a poor pass. Now here's Martin Valgent. He's going to take it forward himself. It's Martin Valgent who does get a corner here for this Real Mallorca side. And Martin Valgent, as you know, loves playing offensive whenever he can, whenever he does get the chance. Now, Sergi Dardera to take the corner here for Real Mallorca. Can they make anything from it? Corner almost falls to Kai Ladin, that ball, but Soria comes out first and gets there on time. It was Samu Costa who almost plays a through ball into Kai Ladin. But Soria just does the most to get there first. Now here's Mojica, who tries playing into Muriqui. He does get it, almost plays it through to Kai Ladin. Either way, it was handball. It was handball there by Muriqui. It is going to be a free kick here for Getafe, and they are going to be making 2 substitutes very soon. Now Omar Mascarell giving the ball away in their own half of the pitch. Getafe taking the shots off. And Dominic Grave gets down to get the save. But it's good effort there by Getafe. Now here's Samu Costa losing the ball. And Sergi Darder ends up fouling Alderete here. And it is going to be a free kick for Getafe. And now, 76 minutes in here. And it's such a shame so far. Now Getafe to take the free kick here. Putting in the cross, Getafe into that second post. And Arambari was there, but this time he did have someone on him. Now Mojica clears the cross, but again Getafe do get the rebound. And it's Milla who plays it out to Iglesias. Iglesias back to Milla. And despite Getafe being 2-0 up, they're still playing the offensive side so well. And this is a side that have one of the worst offensives in the league. So you really have to question Real Mallorca's performance out here today. Now Omar Mascarell with the ball. He's going to try and play it out wide to Marc Dominic. But Rico was there to clear it. Muriqi brings it down to Kai Larin. The ball does bounce back to Muriqi, who plays it out wide to Omar Mascarell. Out to Sergi Darder, who's going to play out wide to Martin Valgent. Valgent putting in the cross here. No one in that second post. Omar Mascarell does keep the ball in play here. It is going to be a throw-in for Getafe. And now Real Mallorca are going to be making 2 changes here. Valery to come on, and Manu Morlanes, who's been out injured for quite some time. Muriqi is going to be coming off here for Manu Morlanes, and Samu Costa is going to come off for Valery. And it's such a shame here. But you can see, as I did mention, just the difference Muriqi has had ever since he's been injured. You just can see the difference it has made on him. And now not long to go here before the end of this second half. Just about 10 minutes left to go, plus extra time. Now, Antonio Rayo out to Martin Valgent. Valery into Antonio Sanchez. Back to Martin Valgent. Rayo into Omar Mascarell, out to Mojica. Mojica out to Sergi Darder. He's going to take it and play it into Mojica. Manu Morlanes out to Martin Valgent. Martin Valgent back to Omar Mascarell, out wide to Darder. He tries putting in the cross. Again, it's cleared by Getafe here. Now Getafe clear it, but it does fall to Uche, who's going to take it himself. The ball does go out of play. And now Getafe are going to be making 2 changes here. And Terrats is going to be coming off here. Alvaro Rodriguez and Juan Bernat both to come on here for Getafe. And it's been quite the disappointing day for the Real Mallorca fan, but a very, very exciting day for the Getafe fans. As with this, they'll be saved from relegation. Now Martin Valgent getting fouled here. And Ucho just pick up a yellow card. Now, Real Mallorca, despite having 67% possession in this matchup, still losing 0-2 here. Now here's Mojica, who tries playing it wide, but Iglesias is there to block the ball. Now, Antonio Rayo playing it into Manu Morlanes. Omar Mascarell trying to play through ball into Antonio Sanchez. Sergi Derdera does pick up the rebound. It's going to be a throw-in here. Antonio Sanchez into Valery. Out to Derder. Back to Valery. Antonio Sanchez into Derder, who puts in a poor cross here. Just not enough power on that cross again. It's Manu Morlanes out to Antonio Sanchez. Manu Morlanes giving the ball away here. And even with these substitutes, Real Mallorca just look, again, just so lost. Now Omar Mascarell. It's Manu Morlanes. He's going to play it out to Antonio Sanchez. Omar Mascarell out to Manu Morlanes. It's Sergi Derder. Omar Mascarell. And Real Mallorca really trying their best to get forward. But they just can't seem to make it work here. Antonio Sanchez trying to get past those Getafe defenders, but it just doesn't seem to be working here. Now Antonio Rayo into Manu Morlanes. Out wide to Omar Mascarell, who's going to take it forward here. Out wide to Antonio Sanchez. Tries putting in the cross here. Too much power on that cross. Mojica gets the rebound. Plays out to Manu Morlanes, who's going to put the cross in, but it goes right into the hands of Soria. And it's such a shame for Real Mallorca to have this result. So many people had such high hopes out here today at the Somos Stadium. Now Mojica does take the throw in here. Switching it all the way out to Valery. Now here's Mojica into Sergi Derder. Out wide to Omar Mascarell. Omar Mascarell out wide to Antonio Rayo. Into Johan Mojica. Sergi Derder here. Now here's Mojica. And Real Mallorca holding possession of the ball, but again, just no offensive threat from this Real Mallorca side. Now Antonio Rayo into Mojica. Sergi Darder here puts in the cross. It's cleared again by Getafe. Now here's Valery. Valery's going to take it forward, decides to play it back. Now Antonio Rayo out wide to Mojica. It's Mojica who tries putting in the cross. It does go right into the hands of Soria. And it just looks like this match is already done and dusted. 87 minutes in here now. Taking a look at the replay, it's a lovely shot there from Uche. But again, it's just such poor defending from Real Mallorca. And it's been a really poor performance out here today by Real Mallorca. And it's such a shame, because looking at how well they played just last week out up against Real Madrid, and then looking at how they played today, it's just such a shame that they couldn't have that same performance. And again, as I did mention in the pre-match, one thing that Getafe do know how to do very well is survive. Survive and stay in the first division, especially when they're in danger, and that's what they did out today. Now here's Dominic Grave. And again, when a team like Getafe lose 6 matches in a row, and then they beat here Real Mallorca at their own ground 2-0, it's just hard to see the positive side from any of this. And now Getafe still holding possession of the ball. They end up losing it. So Omar Mascarell here. He's going to play out to Antonio Sanchez. Now Omar Mascarell out wide. It's Valery out to Mojica. Mojica to Omar Mascarell, who tries putting in the cross, and just like all the other ones, it is cleared again. Now Antonio Raillo taking it forward. Martin Valgent out wide to Antonio Sanchez, who tries putting in the cross, but again, it's just no good from Real Mallorca. Now here's Mojica, who skips past his man, Iglesias, very well. Mojica tries putting into the cross. Cleared by Getafe. Now on Sergi Darder does end up committing a handball here with his touch. And now I'm not quite sure. And now Getafe have made a substitute here. Uche has come off here for Getafe. And they have added on 8 minutes here in total. But again, it's just such a shame because you can pretty much say that Europa League, any type of European football, is gone here for Real Mallorca, and they were so close this season to having it. Unfortunately, Rayo Vallecano still beating Celta Vigo, and Osasuna also still beating Espanyol. Both beating their teams by 1 goal. Now, Real Mallorca, can they at least get anything from this match? So Antonio Sanchez, he brings it down, tries putting in the cross, it's blocked. Omar Mascarell. Manu Morlanes out to Mojica. Mojica trying to play it into Antonio Sanchez, who doesn't end up getting there in time. It was cleared by Getafe. Now trying to put in the cross into Kai Larin, who does put the ball in the back of the net here. But is there enough time for Real Mallorca to get the equalizer here? And what a goal that was there by Kai Larin. And there's still about 6 minutes left here for Real Mallorca. And Sergi Darder playing a lovely ball into Kai Larin. But what a finish that was there by Kai Larin. A spectacular header. What a header there from Kai Larin. And now, Real Mallorca all of a sudden have a lifeline here. Just 1 more goal to at least get a point from this match. Better than nothing. Martin Valgen ends up slipping there, almost causing Getafe to get a counterattack. Antonio Rayo there to get it back, plays it into Dominic Grave. And now just about 5 minutes left to go for Real Mallorca to go for another goal. It's Sergi Darder out to Manu Morlanes. Manu Morlanes plays it to Valgent. Martin Valgent's going to try putting in the cross. There's not enough height on it. Arambari does pick up the rebound. He's going to take it down the wing. Antonio Sanchez does get there on time, and he gets the ball back. Plays it to Dominic Grave. And now, Real Mallorca still with a lifeline. Sergi Darder. His pass does get blocked. Manu Morlanes now. Out to Sergi Darder. Out wide to Omar Mascarell. Into Martin Valgent now. Back to Omar Mascarell. Back to Sergi Darder. And Real Mallorca can't decide who's going to put the cross in. Manu Morlanes out to Mojica. Back to Valery. Now Valery is going to play out wide to Antonio Sanchez. Back to Darder. He's going to put the cross in. Looking for... And Soria's gone down. He was looking for Antonio Rayo there, but too much height on that cross. Soria gets there first. And it was a love goal there by Kai Ladin. Maybe he should have come on earlier in this matchup. But again, even a draw would still be useful for Real Mallorca to give them a lifeline. So if Real Mallorca can get another goal here, would be massive for them. It's just 2 minutes left before the full-time whistle. It's Manu Morlanes. Tries putting in the cross. It's really poor cross. Now Mojica. Mojica trying to put in the cross here. It is going to be a throw-in for Real Mallorca. Now here's Antonio Sanchez. It's Mojica on that left-hand side. Mojica not quite sure what his intentions were there. Antonio Sanchez is going to try and put in the cross. The rebound falls to Mojica, out to Manu Morlanes, who plays a poor ball into Neom. And now Getafe get a throw-in. And now Getafe, of course, are going to take their time to take this throw-in. Taking the throw-in here, Getafe. Real Mallorca get the throw-in instantly. And now, the 98th minute is here. Maybe it will be the last chance for Real Mallorca. Trying to put the cross in. Who's the ball going to fall to? Taking the shot. Antonio Raillo. The rebound falls to Kai Ladin. It's Antonio Raillo who tries putting in the cross. And it's going to be a goal kick here for Getafe. And what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca. And most likely Soria takes this goal kick. And that will be it. Antonio Sanchez kicking it up forward. Trying to get something from this. It's going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. And the referee blows his full-time whistle. And that is the end of this matchup here. And Getafe win this match 1-2. And Getafe confirm that they will no longer get relegated this season, and there goes European football for Real Mallorca next season. And what a disappointing result, and I could even say performance from Real Mallorca this match. And you can see those Getafe players, how much it means to them to win out here today. And it's a shame to end the last home match of the season this way. But either way, despite Real Mallorca not getting European football this season, despite this performance, it's still been a big season for this Real Mallorca team this year. So they don't have to be too disappointed with themselves, because again, it's been a big year for Real Mallorca. But either way, this performance today out here, in my opinion, was very disappointing. And those players definitely should have done better out here today. And there it is. Those Real Mallorca players applauding the Son Moix Stadium. And those players, of course, do deserve the round of applause because, as I said again, it's still been a very big season from Real Mallorca this season and last season. And again, it's all relatively new to them, for them, being in these high stakes, these high positions, fighting for European football. So, you still have to appreciate how well, they have done this season, despite this poor result, despite not qualifying anymore for European football. You still do have to appreciate how good it has been this season. A very disappointing result, although, for Real Mallorca out here today. And, of course, again, a great season for Getafe to survive again in First Division. And they have been in the First Division now for so long. This Getafe side, as I said, they spent from 2004 all the way until 2016 in the First Division, where they got relegated. But then back in 2017, they went right back up again, and ever since they've been in the First Division. So fair play to Getafe for always knowing how to survive. And again, they've survived it this year with this match. So, you do have to show fair play to them for that. And they are a team that do know how to survive. But, offensively, they're one of the worst at scoring the whole league. In the last 5 matches, they haven't scored a single goal. And they also haven't won any of their last 6 matches. So for them to come here at the Son Moix Stadium and for Real Mallorca to lose against them here, it's just a terrible result, especially when Real Mallorca are fighting for so much. They're fighting to qualify for a European spot, which they've only ever qualified once, and that was over 20 years ago. So, so much to risk for Real Mallorca. Getafe also had a lot to risk, but, I'd say Real Mallorca even had more to risk. So I just think there's no excuse for this poor performance out here today. And again, it's just a shame. It's a shame to not qualify, as it would have made such a massive difference to this club. The changes it could have made would have been massive. But, hey, they'll just have to go again next season and hope for the best. Now we have the words from Manu Morlanes. Manu, how are you doing? Starting with the match. How do you value the match? Well, a disgrace, really. We wanted the victory. Today was the day, to get the attention of our fans. We felt that the fans, fell a little bit. We couldn't manage to do it today. We have to see what went wrong and find solutions. Until the end, you fight the match, no? You almost had Getafe there in the end. But, yeah, you fight until the end. Yeah, there are teams that, at the minute, when they get in front, they're really hard to beat. We tried putting in crosses, and we got Kyle's goal, but we just couldn't make it work. Since the 5th of April, you haven't played. How do you feel? Yeah, I feel good. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to help the team. I'm working on every day, just working on getting better to help the team. And let's go for more. Those are the words that are from Manu Morlanes, who, as you can say, disappointed but happy to be back in general. But either way, I'm sure that's not the worst reaction that we are going to hear from some of these player interviews. By the way, we still have more player interviews coming up, so do not go anywhere if you want to hear that. But I'm more than sure that's probably the lightest interview we are going to get, because I saw some of those players and they'll be very angry, very frustrated with themselves to not have won out here today, as how much it probably means to them to play in European football next season. It probably means the world. And not even that, even looking at the stats, Real Mallorca had 73% possession and Getafe 27%. And despite that stat, it looked like half of the time that Getafe were the better team, which is hard considering the amount of possession, that Real Mallorca had. And 5 shots for Real Mallorca, which is a very low amount, only 1 on target. And Getafe had 8 shots and 4 on target, which of course is better. So for Getafe to be a better offensive side than you when they're one of the worst ones, it's just no excuse. And if I'm looking, at this squad out here today, I generally think everyone was just equally as poor. The only ones I really think did all right was Dominic Grave, because he did make some big saves. He made that amazing save in the first few minutes. I think Mojica was decent out there today. I think he did his part. Sergi Derder, I think he was all right, but he wasn't great. We've seen him at better. And also, one thing I want to mention is, the bench, the players that came on, they didn't bring the energy that the team needed. The only one I really think made an impact was Kyle Laring, because he got the goal in the last minute. A stunning goal, by the way. But I just think a lot of things were missing out there today. I think a lot of things went wrong. But either way, it's bad. I don't think there's any positives from this match at all. There's no excuse for it. But at the end of the day, no European football. There'll always be next season. And it's been a big season from Real Mallorca either way. Now they just have to fight, the same that they did for next season. And, head in even better. So, yeah, it's been a big year for Real Mallorca. They did have the chance to go into European football. They did mess it up. They did blow it because, if we compare the first half of the season of Real Mallorca, they gained so many points. They beat so many teams. Then when we look at the second half of the season, it was like a big downfall, completely different team. If they would have kept up that first half of the season throughout the whole season, then there's no doubt in my mind that Real Mallorca would probably be in the top 6 teams. But they lacked the rhythm a bit in the second half of the season, and you could see it with these type of matches, losing against Getafe at home, losing points, losing matches that you should be winning. Those are things you can't afford to do if you want to play in European football, in a European tournament, with all these big sides. So that's something that they do need to work on, I think, for next season. And talking about that Getafe side, they weren't particularly very dangerous. It's just that Real Mallorca let them play dangerous. And, up front, look at their 2 strikers. They weren't even that dangerous. Mayoral, the number 9, we didn't even see him. Terrats, that number 11, was decent. I think Uche, he was all right. He was pretty good. He got, of course, that stunning goal, his second goal, which is an absolute cracking goal. But again, on that Getafe side, no one is particularly very dangerous. Their maximum goal scorer, he only did score a goal, Amrabat, because his marker, he was left completely on his own. I don't think that Getafe side particularly had a good performance. I just think Real Mallorca were very, very poor out there today. And that's pretty much just why they lost the match, And again, I think the bench didn't provide enough energy to boost the team morale. Kyle Laring did get a goal within the last few minutes of the game, which was good. I think Kyle Laring did pretty good, an amazing goal. But again, they were just missing a lot more of that match. And in general, I definitely think just a bit of a poor performance. And I'm sure that all those Mallorquin fans and all those Mallorquin players will be very, very disappointed with today's result. As today was just so important. So important. Because a win today would have meant still fighting for European football. And, still in the possibilities. But the loss today confirms that chase is officially over. It's now pretty much mathematically impossible for Real Mallorca to qualify for European football. Matter of fact, it is mathematically impossible. They need 4 points, and there's only one match left to go before the end of the season. So mathematically, it's impossible for Real Mallorca to qualify for European football. But either way, today was poor. And now next week out, they do play Rayo Vallecano away from home. They do have nothing to lose, I would say, Real Mallorca. Whereas Rayo Vallecano, on the other hand, have a lot to lose. They will still be fighting for European football. So, the only thing Real Mallorca can do is just go into the next week, despite having nothing to lose, prove that they are the better side and, finish the season off with a good result. And one thing I also do want to talk about is that, tactical decision of today. Usually Real Mallorca go out with the 5 at the back formation. They usually go with the 5-3-2, and it usually works very well. But today, they decide to switch it up for whatever reason. They decide to play Pablo Maffeo up on the right mid position instead of right back. They put him up front when he's a defensive player. They did put Mateo Jaume at right back, and I think Mateo Jaume did all right. I think Mateo Jaume had a good match. But, with Pablo Maffeo up front, I just think you can't be making these type of decisions, when you have such an important match on the line. I just think that's not the time to make those type of decisions. And Pablo Maffeo, he didn't have a great game. He really didn't look comfortable up there. And not only that, I think he was also still a bit slightly injured. From his previous injury, he did look a bit hurt. So I also think, the decision making for today's tactics maybe weren't the ones to make. And playing with 4 at the back, I definitely think the 5 at the back formation still would have been better for today. As look how much damage Getafe did to our defense out there today. One of the teams with the least goals in the whole season. 0 goals in 5 matches. And they scored 2 goals at our own ground here today. You could see how it did affect the defense, changing, the tactics. So that's also something that maybe you have to question. Real Mallorca, they do still have 2 or 3 players out, but, not that many. They're only really missing Takuma Asano out there today, who usually is a player that does add a lot to the table. As I did mention, he's a type of player that's very, quality on his feet. He makes those type of runs that no one else can see, and he does manage to get through those defenders. He makes them work where you have to keep an eye on him all the time, as he's always making those runs. He's always breaking through. And of course, he's also a very fast player. So it's a shame that Real Mallorca also didn't have them out there today. But either way, Real Mallorca, they can't just depend on one player to do everything for them. But yeah, maybe you start to question if he would have been there, if it could have been a bigger help, if it would have changed anything. I don't think so, but either way, it's a shame for Real Mallorca to be missing him. To be fair to Real Mallorca, throughout the second half of the season, they've picked up and dealt with a lot of injuries. And, if you are a Real Mallorca fan, if you have been following throughout this whole season, you will see how many injuries they have been dealing with throughout the second half of the season. The first half of the season, there wasn't many injuries. They had the whole squad and they looked so good. But then when they went into the second half of the season, they started missing a lot of players getting hurt, injured. Big players as well, starting 11 players. And that's when it started kind of to affect them. They started dropping the rhythm a little bit. They started going on a bit of a losing streak. And most especially, the offense started to look very poor. They were struggling to score goals quite often. And that's also something that, you have to take into consideration. I think for this... Now we have the words from Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager. How do you value today's match? Well, negative, no? We weren't comfortable in any moment. The result is bad. It's complicated against a team that, is risking relegation. But we didn't defend. The team tried, but we just couldn't make it work. What do you think was missing today? I think we weren't fluid. When you go ahead in these type of matches, it means a lot. It's something that we've been missing the second half of the season. We struggled to generate. We just couldn't score. It became impossible for us. We have to learn because the dynamic is dangerous. Yeah, for us, it's important to end this season in a good place. Between the top 10. We are going to try it. We're going to rest now and try and start next season even better. Those are the words there from Jacoba Arrasate, who did mention a key word there, and that word is, fluid. And also he did say during a single moment they weren't comfortable on the ball. They weren't fluid with it. They didn't look comfortable at all in the slightest, not a single minute during that match. And as he mentioned, as I was just talking about, it's something that they really have been struggling with in the second half of the season, which is something that I was just mentioning, and it's completely true. I definitely think it's something that they really have been struggling with in the second half of the season. And they really need to work on that for next season. Of course, they still have one match left to go before, the end of the season up against Rayo Vallecano, and they still want to end in the top 10. So, they still need to focus on next week in this next match. It's important to end the season off well in the top 10. So, Real Mallorca, also one thing I want to mention is I think for next season, I think Real Mallorca really need to start looking for different types of players. I think they were missing certain types of players that could really help them in the squad. And, especially offensive, a bit of more offensive threat, maybe more dangerous wingers. I think that's something that Real Mallorca really are missing, is offensive threats, dangerous wingers, people like that. Because, they do have strikers, goal scorers, but what they don't have is like dangerous wingers to help them up front. It's usually just the strikers on their own. And first half of the season they could do the job. Vela, Muriqi, and Kyle Larin were both looking very strong, but throughout the second half of the season, a lot of the rhythm dropped, and players also started to get injured quite often. So, that's something you do have to take, into consideration. Also, one thing I did want to mention with Kyle Larin's goal today, that leaves him on 7 goals this season, actually drawing with the maximum goal scorer, who was Vedat Muriqi, who also has 7 goals. So now both of these players, both of them on 7 goals, both of them the maximum goal scorers this season. A decent amount of numbers for both of these strikers. As I said, I think they've both had good seasons, but it was just around the end of the season where they started dropping the rhythm quite a bit, and also they both had injuries to deal with. Especially, I think Kyle Larin, he's such a good player, but I think it is more of a question of confidence with Kyle Larin. I think when he's confident, he looks so good, but when he doesn't have confidence, he's just never there. And Vedat Muriqi has been so sharp this season, but he got the injury, and then you could see he just dropped the rhythm quite a bit, and he's been injured for quite some time, which is such a shame for him, as he's just had a great season, I think, so far. So I think those two strikers have had a decent season, but they still are missing maybe a bit of more offensive threat, and maybe that's something they want to look for going into this new season, as we don't know I don't know who's going to stay and who's going to leave. But it's something that Real Mallorca maybe need to start looking for is playing more direct play, maybe up front. And I just think that's something. And they'll also need to decide going into the next season who's going to be the main goalkeeper. As it's a tough question because you have two amazing goalkeepers, and now they have to choose which one they want. Now we have the words from Mateu Jaume. Yeah, in the end, it was the last match at home. We wanted to dedicate this victory to our fans and win at home to maintain the possibility to go to Europe. We had such high hopes. We couldn't make it work. We gave it all our best, but it just wasn't enough. They made the most of their chances, and they knew how to win the match. It's true that in the last minutes, you had that goal, you had the advantage, but it couldn't be. But the team, showed lively. Yeah, in the end, we knew this match was going to be complicated. We had our options. We couldn't make the most of it. We couldn't figure out how to damage them. But hey, we don't have to cancel out the amazing season that we have been having. The main objective this season was to survive, and we've done more than that. These last weeks has been very emotional. Because we had this possibility to get in. We gave our everything. But now we just have to focus on the last match of the season. We have to try and get a positive result and end the season on a good start. Those are the words there from Mateu Jaume. Now we have the words of Omar Mascarell. Omar, how do you value that match? Well, the truth is it hurt quite a lot because of today's result and because of the match. They hit us very hard. The fans, they came very positive in hopes for Europe, us too, but in the end, it couldn't go how it went. It hurts, but, head high. In football, you just have to keep on going forward. These things can happen. We just have to continue going together as a group, as a team. There's one match left. We have to get to those 50 points. And, then focus on the next season. And I'm sure that's going to be good. In the end, we fought until the end. We got that 2-1. We had it, but couldn't make it work. Yeah, in the end, I think it was very tough when we were losing 2-0. We were looking a lot behind. I think the substitutes did help us a bit, and more on the offensive side to get more forward, to get more people in the box, to put in more crosses in the end. And we were getting very close to getting a goal. We did get the 2-1, but we just didn't have enough time to get the next one. So, yeah. It's true that you don't have Europe, this season, but you have to end off good, right? Yeah, I think so. It's important for the group. It's also important for the fans. After, how hard we've been hit today, at least let's end with 50 points with a victory and focus on next season. We just can't put our heads down yet because there's still a lot to go in front to get the victory. It's been a very good year. It's been a very good first half of the season. The second half wasn't the greatest, but, we can't forget the good work that we have done this season. So we just have to finish the season off good, keep on going strong as a team, as friends, and, keep on going. So that is the end of the player interviews out here today. But, of course, we still have the press conference from the Real Mallorca manager, Jacob Arrasate, to come up. So, do not go anywhere if you do want to hear that. As they said, a shame that Real Mallorca, they came with spirits today, with high hopes to get into European football, but it just couldn't be this season. But either way, they don't have to forget how much of a good first half of the season they have had. It's a shame that as Omar Mascarell said, that's a shame that the second half of the season couldn't go how they wanted it to go. But either way, they still have to just remember how good they've done this season. And there's still one match to go. Don't put your heads down, because they want to end off the season with 50 points and in that top 10 placements, obviously. And, it's important for the team to try and do that. So, again, just not put their head down, because there's still one match to go. It's still not over. And, again, just remember how well they have done this season, despite not getting into the European football. And, it's a shame for the fans that did come here excited for today. Now we're just waiting to see if we can get the press conference from Jacob Arrasate, so do not go anywhere, because we're still waiting to see if we can get that. If you do want to watch that, we will have it just in a few minutes. So again, do not go anywhere if you do want to hear that. But very, very wise words, I think, from Omar Mascarell. I think he said what everyone was thinking. It's a shame they didn't get Europe. Everyone wanted it. The fans came here in hopes of getting it here today, but it just couldn't be. It'll have to wait till next time. And just don't forget the amazing first half of the season that they have had, because it's been, a spectacular season, I think, for every Real Mallorca fan. There's been such highs, ups and downs, but mainly ups. They started off the season with the objective of, not getting relegated, and they ended up almost fighting for Europe at the end of the season. I mean, how different, how does that even happen, Now we're going to get the words from the Getafe manager. In all the years that I've known you, you've had big seasons, in this first division. You've brought teams up. You've also brought teams down. You've played in Europe. Do you consider that this has been the most complicated season, especially because of the injuries at the beginning of the season? And I wanted to ask you another question. Yeah, without a doubt, it's probably been one of the most complicated seasons I've had, and probably one of the toughest as well. It's been very hard for everything we've had. The difficulties that we've had in this end of the season, it's been tough. We've had players sent off. We've had injured players. But we do have experienced players that have played a lot. They know how to suffer. And they have been going crazy in the locker room here today because, we suffered so much. But, in the end, it was worth it. I love this team. This team is like family to me. They love me. I love them a lot. In the pitch, outside the pitch, we've all seen it all. And with work, with dedication, some of these players have been through such heavy injuries and they're still here giving it their best. All these players, I really wish the best for them. Congratulations for staying in the first division. Do you think Real Mallorca was mentally blocked during this match, but especially in the last few minutes where Kyle Larin got his goal? I mean, it's been a tough season. I'm not really going to go into detail for it. We've had financial big problems. We've had players that we've had to switch around from left backs to center backs. We've had to use Uche up front in the first match, of the division. On the wing, we just have to switch around a lot. We've had a lot of difficulties in this season. You have to appreciate it. We have to put a lot of value on it. Because, for us that we've been here every day, we know how tough it's been. I think Mallorca kind of let us play how we wanted to. It's also because we did go in front winning 2-0. We did struggle in a few minutes of the match, with the fatigue and trying to protect the result. I was telling them to push out, but the team wouldn't. They'd sit back and protect. And some of those crosses, Muriqi, that's an amazing player in those type of actions. Yeah, he got the 1-2. But again, the team did suffer. We got a very important result that gave us the prize that we wanted. Congratulations on staying up. Do you think that the work before you did this match, do you think that this is the Mallorca that you imagined? Well, we knew that we had to do a perfect match on a defensive level, and also on an offensive level. We insisted a lot on, staying calm. It's something that we haven't been able to do in the last few matches, that we were giving away goals, and at an offensive level we didn't have efficiency, because Mallorca is a team that has a lot of offensive variance. They can put in crosses, they can play through low. They're very dangerous because they have very good players. They're good strategically, offensively. They're a team that they get well along. They're a good team, without a doubt. They've done very well in the division, but I think we did a very good job. I'm not going to talk bad about Mallorca because I think they have big credit. I just think Getafe did a good job. So that was the words from Jose Varas, the Getafe manager. And now we're going to listen to Jacoba Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager. If you had to explain to someone what happened today, how would you? Well, it's complicated to explain the disgust that we have right now. Just like the fans, I'd say that it's a bit of a reflection of how we've been in the second half of the season. It's been bad. It's been not good. Very easily, they were better than us. And when we got chances, we didn't take them. We got to accept the reality that I think the dynamic is negative. I think it's also dangerous. So we have to learn from all this. Every match that goes through, I do value more the points that we do have. It's true that today the team looked very different. Where do you think this come from? Yeah, I understand. The people that comes from outside, they see empathy, but we're missing a bit of light, a bit of dust. The team is honest. The team, it works. They train well, but it's just the thing is when the moment comes, we don't give. It's because of football reasons, not because of attitude reasons. What do you think that the team was missing after the first half of the season where you got 30 points? A lot of things we were missing. We had important matches at home where we had to take that step and we didn't. And the team, like I said, they struggled to generate a lot of chances. And also we weren't as solid as the first half. So if you just combine these things, the team is more vulnerable. It struggles more to get results. It's true that we had a few chances, but it's not enough. There's teams that are doing worse than us and they're better than us right now. Now, I think everyone has to judge themselves. Everyone's celebrating, Girona, Getafe, and we are stressing. We're pulling each other's hair. I think we just have to all judge ourselves. The team has attitude. You definitely think that. It got 30 points in the first half of the season. If it was missing attitude, the problem would be identified. But you think the problem is not that? Are you worried that you can't find the solution? Yeah, of course. The season is good, yeah. But am I happy? No. In the end, I see my team, and I'm not happy with it right now. I'm not seeing those situations where we're better than them, but we just can't beat them. We have to think about that. I know it's the end of the season next week. We're going to try and end, the best moment possible in the first top 10. But then, we're going to go again next season with a good market, a good preseason. And we have to go again. We have to start good again. Because the dynamic right now, it's dangerous. We don't want to bring this into the next new season. Do you have the feeling that today something broke, between the fans and the team and with Maffeo and Larin? Yeah, it's really sad for me, because for me, football is connection between the fans and the team. And it annoys me. And the players are the one that have to be ones with the fans. They have to be more intelligent. It worries me now because we're going into self-destruction like other teams. It would be very dangerous to do that. Again, we all just have to criticize ourselves. Later, we did say Kai Larin, telling the fans to be quiet when he scored, and Pablo Maffeo also. How do you feel about all this? Now, out in the places I've been, it was different. Every player reacts a different way. We all have a temperament. But that also is not an excuse. We have to be intelligent. This is our profession. Our profession's not always going to be nice. You're going to have bad moments. You have to face it. You have to put your face in front. And in a lot of moments, you just have to judge yourself. And this is our moment right now. It's a good season, yeah. But I'm not happy. If we get in the first top 10, it's good. But I'm not happy because I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Is it a moment as a manager to tell a club that you need 5 or 6 more new players? Well, we have to do a good market this season. It's obvious. But some of these players that we have, we like them, and they just have to get better. We have seen some of these players be a better version of themselves. We need just their better version of themselves. That's why I'm talking about autocritical. How do you feel ending the season within the top 10 teams? Yeah, like I said, that's why I said this end of the season is going to be good. But again, I'm still just not happy. We've had perspectives. Some of them have been wrong, some of them have been right. But why are the fans mad? why is this happening? We just have to think about everything that's happened. You know, we don't have to just look at the good. We also have to look at the bad. And we have to look at each other. Are you disappointed with anyone in particular? And do you want to get new players going into the next season? No, not in general. In general, I'm just worried because in the second half of the season, we only got 17 points. And right now, we're not in Europe. I think it's a dangerous dynamic. I think everyone has to change. Me first and then the players. And, you know, we have to look for things we can do in the market for the preseason. You know, it's true that we've reached the moment where this is the truth. We can't just, you know, blame others and say it's unfair. We did a first good half of the season and we did a bad second half of the season. And we just have to look at ourselves and play better also at home. It's normal that the fans aren't happy. Why do you think the season ended like this? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of people's perspectives. I told you, Getafe is celebrating right now. Girona was celebrating when they beat us. And we're going to end in front of them, but we're angry, you know? We're stressing over it, and we have conflicts. So we have to look at why we reached this situation and also think that the dynamic, it's negative, and, you know, put a stop at it. Do you think you can explain everything happened? Do you think it's a physical condition from some of these players? You know, there was a lot of injuries you had. Yeah, well, it's easy, you know, just to blame it on the physical. It's true that in the second half we had a lot more injuries than in the first. We had important players out. That was just one of the factors to get less points, but you know, it's not the only reason we didn't get as many points. We can't just blame that and think it was because of that. No, you know, we have to look at why from that. Why else did we lose a lot of points and have a bad second half of the season? Mathematically, the season's not over. There's still one match to go. I wanted to ask you, did it consume you this first season at Mallorca? A lot. You know, in football, 1 year is a lot, just for any manager. But yeah, when I say I'm not happy, you know, the whole second half, looking for solutions, not finding them, that stresses me out a lot. And, you know, situations like today, it gives you disgust, a lot of disgust. But I told you, this is part of the profession. You just have to accept it. Tomorrow we have to train, and good. And, you know, put an end to this bad streak that we've been having. But we've also had good moments. I want those moments to come back, and I'm the first one that has to make it better. So those were the words there from Jacoba Arrasate, who, as you can see, you know, very clear. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last match of the season at Somos Stadium. It's been a pleasure to stream with all of you. We still have one match left to go before the end of the season, and we'll see you there. Take care, everybody.